What's up with you? What's up with you? Uh-oh. We're going to cut that down. What's up with you now? A lot of people misinterpret this boycott, and that's fine. They probably doing it on purpose, but no one ever suggested that one of the students should leave the school, and don't go back to college. They only need, look, all they need is the top recruits. When you take a look at Georgia, Tennessee, all of them, top 10 recruits, all blacks. And it's go to the schools, the top 10, recruits, blacks. The players that they're targeting, blacks, 80% blacks. They don't need but one or two. They don't need it. That's up to them. Like they say, slavery is a choice, right? If they want to go and be slaves for the SEC, go right ahead. All you need is one or two players to decommit and transfer to Indiana, Ohio State, and it's over. And it's going to happen. This is going to happen. Once again, we're about 2 months out. There are going to be players who are going to decommit from these schools. They're going to look and say, I'm not going to be a slave for an SEC football team. I'm not going to be exploited. I'm not going to let them use me. I'm not going to get on that football field and get hurt. And as soon as I get hurt, I'm out of school. I'm washed out. All of a sudden, they're talking about my scholarship. It's something wrong with the paperwork. I go out there and I blow out my knee to these racist SEC schools. Then what do you have? And let me tell you something. These you can say whatever you want to say. They haven't got them yet. I will grant you that. But if they can get the top recruit, one or two, because it's got to start. This is going to be a long game. I'd say this will take you about 10 years. You need to start now, though. Get one or two to decommit, which means they're still going to be in school. They'll transfer to another school. They were going to go to this school. They chose to go to another school. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And once that happens, all of them are going to leave. All of them are going to leave. And they're going to make playing for the SEC equivalent to picking cotton. And now it's not going to start today, but it's going to start. It's already happening. It's already happening. And they're going to get them now. Do they have, you look at a guy like Travis Hunter. He went to Colorado. He was supposed to go to Alabama. He was supposed to go to Alabama. He went to Colorado. He went to Dion. And he won the Heisman, and he plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, all of this stuff wasn't going on. But you can get these guys to transfer. Now, the problem with the SEC, I don't even know, the NAACP or whatever, I don't even know how much they know about college recruiting and all of that. That's where they're going to have to spend their money, their donations or whatever they get. They got to go talk to the recruiter. Recruiter can fill them out on game. They just don't know. They're trying to do a boycott, and they don't understand the system. And I'm telling you, all they need is one or two. All they need is one or two, and they're going to plan for the SEC equivalent to picking cotton. And I already know once that goes out, it's over. I know black people, once that happens, nobody's going to go to that school. They don't even have to worry about that. If that's where you want to go, you want to get your degree, go on with your life, you need to go to that school, you understand racism. Who says stop? Who's stopping you? You go and pick their cotton. You want to go pick cotton for Mississippi State? Go and pick their cotton. You want to go pick cotton for Tennessee? Go pick their cotton. Nobody's telling you to stop. Go to Virginia and pick cotton. But if you want to get away from that, go to USC. Go to UCLA. Go somewhere where you can deal with respect and get away from all this racism. And that's going to be up to them. And like I said, slavery is, not was, is. In this case, slavery is a choice, because if you choose to go to these SEC schools, you're choosing to participate in slavery. And don't talk about what it used to be. It's the same thing it was 5 years ago, except now they're getting some money. You're a top recruit, no matter where you go, Division I school, it's going to be a slight difference, but not that much of a difference. You're going to get your NIL money, especially if you start. You don't have to come to the SEC to get NIL money. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to impact the SEC. Now, is it going to hurt them this year? Oh, it'll hurt them in 5 years from now. Like I said, if they stop getting those recruits, they can't field a competitive team. If they can't field competitive players, that affects the TV ratings. Lack of TV exposure is going to affect recruiting. Lack of a competent product on the field is going to affect fan attendance. Poor fan attendance, lack of a quality product, guess what that affects? Coaching. Can't afford to pay those coaches. You got to get a less, your program has to be reduced. If this, and it's not being, if this thing is applied correctly, you would see programs drop from the SEC. You see Vanderbilt, they'd have to get rid of the program. Alabama would drop football. Ole Miss would drop football. These teams they won't be able to field a competent football program. And they'll know why. They'll know it's because of their racism and embracing racism. So they only need 1 or 2 recruits. People thinking they need every black person. Well, that's up to them. That's completely up to them. If you choose to go to another school, that's a choice. But they do need these top recruits. That's all they need, about 2 or 3. Pick them off, 2 or 3, get you 2 or 3 this year, next year, 6, 7, 8. Next year, third year, when it's pretty common knowledge, now you're going to start getting them in the waves. You're going to start getting them in the bunches, and that's going to hurt that school. And they have influences. They contribute. They donate money to campaigns. That's going to affect who's in charge, because people are going to say, we got to get these racists and these bigots out of office so we can change these, so we can redistrict and we can respect the players, and then they'll be able to field a team. So it's not going to happen overnight. And no one ever said, if you black, don't go to a SEC school. They're saying because of the voting, transfer. That's what they're saying. And they should. And they will. And they will. They're going to transfer, man. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. They're going to transfer. And they're going to say the reason they're transferring is because of the racism. Well, you know what that means? That means your competitors, all your other competing teams, guess what they're going to say? They're going to say, welcome. They're going to say, welcome. It's a matter of time for a coach jumps out there and actively, I don't even know if they can, as far as rules, but you're going to see it. And it's happening. And go and look at the recruits. I want you to go and look at the recruits. Go and look at the top recruits. 90% of them, all of those schools, it's black. 90%. 90% are black. Black players. 90 to some cases 100%. The top 15 recruits, all black. All black. So you're saying all of these people are going to feel comfortable going in there to these universities and being exploited? Because, see, they're going to talk. It's going to get amongst them. And they have parents and grandparents. And some of them care about the state of the black community. So all it takes is 1 or 2. We saw it with Travis Hunter. Now, he left because he wanted to go play with Deion. But players transfer all the time. I think Saban was leaving or something like that. I don't know. Anyhow, he went to Jackson State, and I think Alabama wanted him, and then he followed Deion. Okay, now we're finna see it. And whether you like it or not, if they show up, listen, And this is a good thing both ways, because the Negro, if they show up and get on them football fields, Negroes should stop talking about slavery. Because, see, slavery, the Negro really didn't have a choice, but here they have a choice. They do not have to play for those universities. All you got to do is transfer. It's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some, it's just what you're going to have to do if you want to change. Now, if you don't want to change nothing, go on out there. Go on out there, man. Hop on that field, man. Go play. And you deserve everything you get. Everything. You got those SEC schools have historically, forget this redistricting plan, have been tainted with racism forever, for years. People talk about going to those universities and dealing with the racism and the slurs, and people coming into their dorm room, and the mistreatment by the college campus police. They've been talking about this stuff. Now they just put another quart of gasoline on this thing, and it's going to go out of control. It's just a matter of time, brother. SEC football, slavery is a choice. Are you going to go out there and suit up for them? And I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope you do. I mean, go on out there, man. Make them rich. This stuff don't bother you. Voting, why? We don't need no stinking voting rights. You don't need to be able to vote. You a nigga. You can do it all. You can fly. You can fly. You can jump out off the roof. You don't need no stinking voting rights. What you need that for? But don't hurt your knee. Guess what? You ain't gonna be in that school. And yeah, you can come there as long as you make them some money. And when you decide to go vote, whenever, you don't have it, you're gonna be able to vote for anybody. They can change the laws, schools, all of that. All that stuff, take Black history out, that's gone. Anything they don't like, that's gone. If they don't like it, just take it out. We don't like Malcolm X, take him out. Well, he was a racist. Well, what are you talking about? We're taking him out of here. He was a communist, and he was a socialist. They can take him out because now they control the district. Police come into your neighborhood, bop. See on that one with bop you upside your head. Well, who you gonna complain to? They're gonna support the police 100%. See, the Negro gonna find out this ain't a game, bro. They're gonna find out the hard way now. And if they want to go to those schools, they're gonna pay for that. Because now they're in a position where they got to make a choice. Do you support racism? Do you support slavery, or don't you? If you don't, you transfer. If you support it, go pick their cotton. Go pick the cotton of Mississippi State. Go pick the cotton of Ole Miss. Go pick the cotton of Florida. Go pick the cotton of Texas. You either support it or you don't. Do you support it? You're pro-racism? Go pick their cotton. Go pick that. That's what you got to do, man. And don't give me this gobbledygook about college. There's plenty of colleges out there. You can go, plenty of them. It's called transferring. It's up to you. People transfer all the time. You got all types of players. I can go through the top 10 NFL draft right now. Half of those guys transferred. They did not bit there at no one school. They bounced around because they wanted to go pro. And a decision is going to have to be made. And you only need one. NAACP, if you're smart, just focused on one or two. Get Kentucky, University of Kentucky's top recruit, black guy. Get him to decommit, transfer to a Yankee school. Perfect. Perfect. That's all you need. All you need. Take the University of Arkansas's top recruit, give him the transfer. That's that's up to the school. The people who attend the school, you black, you trying to graduate, you want to live your life, you want your degree, you going to SEC school, you don't want to transfer, finish up. But if you're a top recruit, you got to transfer. You matter in the sense, this movement. You can help the movement become effective. But it's for, like I said, somebody who's just attending, that's up to you. I wouldn't do it, but that's up to you. If you want to go there, you know what they think about you. It's just a matter of time, too. What are you going to do when they get drunk? What are you going to do if you're a student at South Carolina and the student body, you got all those fraternities, wild beer kegs and all of that. What are you going to do if they get drunk and they see you? They don't care. What are you going to do? You know what's going to happen. They're out drinking. You're coming home. You're trying to go to the dorm. You're going to be harassed. You're black. Did you forget that? Then what you going to do? Huh? It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. They set the tone. The politicians set the tone. The tone is racism now. It's okay to be racist now. That's what they did. That's what the Supreme Court did. That's what Donald Trump did. That's what Donald Trump endorsed. So what you going to do now? What you going to do? You going to pick the white man's cotton or you going to transfer? There's nothing else to talk about. You either transfer or you pick his cotton. And you know what? I hope you pick his cotton. You know why? Because I want to sit back and watch. Because that's going to be interesting to see that. It's going to be interesting to see these recruits out playing for Georgia, picking the white man's cotton, because that's all you're doing. Don't kid yourself. You're not respected by those schools. Those schools they don't respect you now. They're not going to respect you later. You're nothing but a puppet. You're nothing but a puppet. And you're going to have to make up your mind what kind of life you want to live. Dr. King got shot. He could have been just like you. He could have went and picked cotton for South Carolina, picked cotton for Georgia. But no, he was willing to fight. And in the process, he lost his life. It was a married man with children. His daddy had a church. He was all out of state, protesting for people that he felt were unjustly treated, being robbed of their rights. He sacrificed everything. He lost his life for the advancement of the Negro. You ain't gonna do that. You're gonna go play you some Georgia football. You finna go play you some LSU football. You finna go play you some SEC football. Because that's more important. Yeah, go ahead. Do it. Do it. You're gonna find out. It's a little bit different than you think. Go ahead and pick the white man's cotton, because that's what you're doing if you play in the SEC. That's all they're doing. Let them do it. I want you to do it. I want you to do it, and you're going to find out. It's about time we find out. This needed to happen years ago. People have acknowledged it's always been wrong. Okay, well, they're doing it today. And they don't need but 2-3 recruits. You don't need all of them. Let them. I understand a lot of the black people, they brainwashed. I know that. A lot of them brainwashed. They brainwashed. It don't have to be that way. It's called transfer. Get in the portal, transfer. Decommit. If you committed to one of these schools, and you need to publicly say why you're going to Northwestern, you're going to Penn State. Hey, I'm leaving old Mississippi and transferring to Penn State. I'm the top 2 pick for old Mississippi. I'm leaving because of the racism. I cannot, with good conscience, play football for a university that cultivates racism. That's all you got to say. That's all they need. And everything else will fall in place. That's all they need. That's all you need to do. You don't need no broad. Don't fish with a broad. We need somebody that's a junior for trying to get a BA. They need to train. No, they don't. That's up to them. I would. I just wouldn't be comfortable in the school. You guys don't know what this means. You guys don't know this open door policy to racism. You have no idea what this is going to mean to the student body. They've always been held back. It's almost like the racists were put in cages. The cages have been lifted up now. What do you think is going to happen? What are you going to think? You're at a college, and I'm not even saying, I'm talking about men, but what about a female? You're 19 years old at the University of Auburn, and you got all of these wild coyotes, these racist coyotes who feel like they've been liberated and feel like it's their obligation to harass, insult, humiliate, and you got to take it. Just like the chill at the Butler. You got to take it. If you don't take it, oh, you're a bad Negro. We got to do something to this. Who wants to go to a school like that? Who wants to attend a school like that? No, come on, man. Come on. And I see Deion, you kept your mouth closed. You know what? Never been a fan. Deion Sanders. Don't get me started on him. I didn't want to talk about Deion. Deion, you're going to have a game day. Colorado football, you're going to do the news day. Come on, Deion. Think about what you're saying there, Deion. Or how about this, Deion? Just don't say anything. In your case, say nothing. Okay? Because, yes, you can make it worse. Say nothing. I don't know why he's not openly recruiting all these players, man. You see what I'm saying? I've been trying to tell people, but they see for themselves. Now, I give him credit for his son. His son could play in college. We can keep it at that, okay? We'll see. That remains to be seen what he can do in the NFL. But you got to speak up, man. Now's an opportunity, man. Rescue a lot of these players out of the SEC. Now, business as usual. They kick off. It don't matter. Then shut up then. What are you complaining about? It don't matter. If it don't matter, then there's nothing to complain about. Just go vote, and you go vote for that white man they give you to vote for, and you shut your mouth, Negro. What you complaining about? Yeah, go put your go put all of your University of Georgia, your Florida, get all your SEC memorabilia, put it on, and walk around proud. You're a proud cotton picking ass nigga for the white man. That's what you are. That's what you are. We're limited on this YouTube things. I can't really express myself the way I'd like to, but that's what you are. I want you to do it. Come on, man. Look stupid. Smile. Be the dumb nigga who's smiling in the face of racism. Big old smile on his face. Talking about some, go Tennessee, go Volunteers. Yeah, please do it. Please do it. Please. Please. Where you at, Barkley? Please do it. Where you at, Shaq? LSU, Shaq. Barkley, Auburn. Where you at? Where you at? What you gonna do? You gonna be quiet? What side you gonna take, huh? You want them to go? You want them to go play for the school? Huh? You want them to go pick that cotton? You want them to go pick cotton. That's what you want. Like you did. Like Shaq did. They paid Shaq quite a bit, though. I agree with that. Shaq, his time The Negro gonna have to make up his mind, man. Do you want freedom, or you want to live up under this white man's thumb? You want him to take care of you? Because it seems like that's what you want. Now, if that's what you want, shut up. You got to make up your mind. Can't have it both ways. You want to be a second-class citizen? Play football, play basketball, play sports for an SEC school. You want to be a second-class citizen? Attend these universities. And the black community's got to understand a line has to be drawn. You can do what you want to do, though. You can listen to look, half of these people on here they dropped out of high school. You know, sometimes when I listen to these YouTube, half of them dropped out of high school. They're thugs. They got criminal records. They know nothing about politics. They don't know what they're talking about. You do not have to play for these schools. Decommit, transfer. You will still get your NIL money. You can still graduate. Why would you want to help a university that hates you? Come on, man. I'm going to tell the truth, though. And I hope I did. I can't necessarily say I started, but hey, I did sort of start it, though. I did sort of start it, though, man. I mean, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Sometimes you think nothing comes of these YouTube things. Something can. Something can. People heard me. I was the first one to start talking about it. I was the only one talking about it. I was the only one. I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about it, man. Now, I ain't got the power they got, but all they need is the top recruits. All you need is the top recruit. You don't need nobody else. All you black folks, why don't y'all pick up the phone? It's very public who these kids are committed to. They've already public. They're not even in college. They made a commitment to a university. Pick up your fucking phone and contact them. All these moms and pops and all of these Democratic voters listed as Democrats and liberals. Well, a lot of you can sway your kids to leave these universities. And that's a smart thing to do. And it's long overdue. Now, that's if you're serious, NAACP. If you ain't serious, you're going to make this little press conference and you're going to fade into the oblivion and wait for the white man to tell you what to do next. That's up to you. But it's going to take some effort. And you're going to have to come out that money. You get donations. You actually do something with these donations. You have to do something with them. You're going to have to basically be a de facto college recruiter. You are. You're going to go from civil activist to low-key college recruiter now. Now you got to visit these homes. You got to go and spotlight these top recruits. You don't need but 2 or 3. If I can get the University of Alabama's top 2 recruits, just the top 2, yeah, they're going to have the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th black going to be playing for them, but you got the top 2. You got to target it like that. We're going to give LSU a pass because Lane Kiffin down there. But Ole Miss, rob Ole Miss. Go take all their recruits. Get them for their quarterback. Get them for their offense. Get that offensive line. Now, like I said, today, it's just like a football team. It takes time to build a team. You draft, you work people out, you play with what you have, people who don't have contracts, guys on the way out, new guys. What do you do the next year? You draft again. You build a team. You cut the fat. You draft again. Within 3, 4, 5 years, you got you a quality team. Now you can make a championship run. The same thing with this. It's going to take time. It's going to take time, and you got to stay on it. You can't let the fire goes out. You got to go and get these recruits. I'm telling you, it's fish in the barrel. I'm telling you, they ready to leave. And you got to make them no better offer. Give them the equivalent offer to go to Penn State. Say, why go to Alabama? Just go to Penn State. You can talk to the coaches. All of this stuff's already prearranged. Say, hey, he said he'll give your kid the 4-year scholarship. This is the NIL money. Yeah, publicly say you're getting away from Alabama. You're getting away from these racist schools that's been using you for your money. Tell them you ain't going to do that anymore. That's the only, and you will win. and you're going to win, and nothing they can say about it. And finally, the Negro is standing up. Finally, it took years, but finally, the Negro is standing up against the racism, standing up against the clowns, taking a stand, and let these clowns, let them go pick that white man's cotton. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Let them go pick that white man's cotton. You don't have to do it. Go somewhere else. Go to a better school. Go to a better school. And that's the only way you win. And yeah, the white supremacist is going to get upset because you're thinking for yourself. It ain't no different than the sharecroppers. Whenever the lawyers would go down there, they would say, "Why don't talk to him? Willie. Come here, Willie. That guy there, he's a troublemaker. Don't talk to him." The guys down there tell him, "Hey, you have a right to vote. You ever voted before? Let me show you. Let me show you. You can vote. Let me show you how, you know. You know what?" And that plantation owner would come out and say, "Willie, come here, Willie. Ain't I done right by you?" "Yes, sir, master. That guy there, he's a troublemaker. Don't listen to that guy. What the hell you need with voting?" "I don't know, sir." Yeah. And then they would attack that man. They would assault that man. They would harm that man. That man was just telling them the truth. And that's what this is. This is a call to the Negro to say, "Hey, stop picking the white man's cotton." Now, you can go do it all you want to. Nobody, get out there on that field, man. I hope you do it. I know it's going to happen. I hope you do it. But no matter how you try to play, you can try to pretend you're picking the white man's cotton. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. You get out there and you win the Heisman. You pick the cotton for the white man and you won the Heisman. And that ain't going nowhere. That ain't going to never stop. Never stop. And I'm telling you, bro, and I'm saying it now, 5 years, SEC, it will not be the same because it's going to work. Is it going to work with everybody? No. And all you need is top recruits. But it's going to work with every recruit? No, but it's going to work with a lot of them. It's going to work with a whole lot of them. And a lot of them are going to start to leave the SEC. They're going to leave the South. And the South's already climbing out a hole of racism with the Civil War and the Confederacy. I'm telling you, man, once the Negroes, I'm talking about the money makers, once these money-making Negroes leave, next thing you know, you're going to have the businesses. So what you going to have down there? What's going to be in there? You lose your businesses, what you going to have? Where's your commerce? Where's your tax base? You can have the thugs. Anybody even talking about them? I hope they stay there. Let the thugs tear up Jackson, Mississippi. I know what they do, all the drug deal, all the crime. Let them have that. You can have that. We're talking about the college top recruits. They're going to transfer. And then what are you going to do? Your schedule, your win-loss rate, it's going to cave in. Then what are you going to do? You don't have talent. People have no reason to watch. The quarterback's trash. Your defense is suspect. It's shaky. The coach is a dumbass. Who's going to watch those universities? Who's going to watch them? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go watch the recruits that left the SEC, playing for the other conferences, going to Notre Dame. I'm going to go watch them play. And they'll get all of that revenue, all of that money. And that's up to the Negro. If you want to go pick the white man's cotton, stay at that school, please. I want you to do it. I want you to do it because I like to know what type of Negro I'm dealing with. Go on out there. You say, I graduated from Texas A&M. A&M is white, conservative, racism central. You see that? You see that? You see that? You see that? Now that guy, he graduated. And he this is what they want the Negro to do. He graduated. He admitted that he had to deal with a lot of unfairness, injustice, but he needed his degree. And that's what I'm saying. The Negro don't want to go to college like that, man. That's what you want to do. You want to go down there and pick that white man's cotton? When you can go somewhere else, there's a bunch of schools that'll take you. Travis Hunter transferred from Alabama. He's going to go to Alabama. He followed Dion to Colorado. There's changes about to be made, man. And I know and we're going to probably, I hope it don't get to that. I hope it doesn't sink into violence. But you're going to see a racial backlash. When those students start leaving, the white supremacists going to start screaming. You know how they do when they can't get their way. Anytime the white supremacist can't get his way, he starts to yell and scream, just like the Chad the Butler. When the white supremacist can't get his way, he starts to throw his little fit. Chad said, it's okay for me to assault a black man. And he found out them white folks said, no, get your fat ass back in jail. And the bigots, you see them on Twitter, they're complaining about that because they want him to be set free. Yeah, man. But you know what? This racist thing has been allowed to fester. And by them, these athletes leaving, I know that's not going to take the racism out of those universities. But this whole notion that black people are supposed to live under oppression, let's find out, man. Let's find out. You said I went to multiple colleges that are racist, and you're believing that conservative colleges are racist. Well, they are. They are. Quite a few of them are. And now we need the athletes, the top recruits, because they are the top recruits projected to go number 1, number 2 in the NFL. We need them to vocally say they're transferring because of those states, because of the racism in those states. And let me tell you what you also need. You need them to stand in the face of race. See, the white supremacists don't want them to talk. They don't want them to say nothing. See, it's about the cards. Who has the cards? Who holds all the cards? Well, NAACP got the cards, but they're going to drop it because they don't realize. You got all of these ex-football players. Half of you shouldn't even be running your mouth. You got half of these ex-football players with YouTube channels ain't said shit in 3-4 years. Why don't you go down there and talk to the NAACP and explain to them how transfers and all of that stuff works? Because they don't know. They don't know. The portal, they don't even know what that is. Instead of, making jokes and all, you know what I'm saying? These guys, man, don't get me on that. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't get me started on that. Hey, Shannon, why don't you go and run your fat mouth to the NAACP and help them out instead of running your mouth? You've been retired, brother. And that white woman retired you from the game, so I don't know where you at. That snowflake retired your chicken ass from the game when she put that 20 piece on your ass. So you done with the game. You done with the game of football. You done with the game of women. And I saw that little silk cover, man. You need to quit. You need to quit, bro. You need to quit. But what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do, man? We gonna get out there and pick that white man's cotton, man. We're gonna go out there and pick cotton for Tennessee, pick cotton for Alabama, Georgia. Ain't nothing to see here. Ain't nothing to see here. We don't need no stinking voting rights. These good white folks, I'm finna go play for Vanderbilt. These good white folks up here. Go play, man. Go play. See, and let me tell you something. A black man, they don't even like a black man like me talking like this. The white supremacist, bro, he really tries to control you, bro. It ain't gonna happen over here, though. Can't control me, man. Can't control me, man. Oh, man. Yeah, they're going to have to make up their mind what they want. They want the best players, or they want to they're going to treat everybody fair. They're going to have to make up their mind. That comes at a price, man. And the top recruits, you need the top recruits, because when the top recruits transfer, it matters. When a top recruit says, I'm going to Florida instead of Georgia, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Like the stream, brother. Support the platform. What we doing over here, man? What we doing? He said that card is about worn out. Okay, well then you know what? See, this is what you don't get, Dennis. Let it be said, then let it be done. There ain't no such thing as everything's fair. Um, the days of protest and marches are behind us, and let's move on. Well, you know what, Dennis, let's move on. I'm not in college, Dennis. Let's move on. Okay, let's move the ball forward. Since all is fair, right? Let's move forward. I'm glad you're doing that too, bro, because you're supporting slavery and you're saying that blacks should willingly go out here and pick this white man's cotton when this white man hates him. I'm glad you're saying it though, because you're telling me what kind of dude you are. I got you, Dennis. You probably got you a white woman. I know. When you Negroes get them white women, y'all switch up, bro, quick. First time these Negroes get some white, they get a piece of white cooch, a piece of white cooch. These Negroes hanging up Confederate flags in the front yard and on and in the main bedroom. The South shall rise again. I got you, brother. I got you. Hold on. But you better keep your eye peeled on the window, because everybody ain't gonna be with that. Like the stream, brother. The choice is up to you, man. The choice is yours. Be the white man's nigga or transfer, whichever one you want to do. Whichever one you want to do. What you want to do. What'd you say? What you want to do, man? Like the stream, man. Slavery is a choice, bro. SEC football, you gonna go play or not? All they need is one or two of the top recruits. Once they get one or two of the top recruits, that's all they need. After that, they don't need to worry about that. All the rest are gonna follow. It also gives an opportunity to highlight, to spotlight the situation that's going on. What are you gonna do? Huh? I still have faith. I think a lot of them are going to transfer. I think they will. I think they're going to get out of there. I think they're going to let their brethren know that these places, black people shouldn't be there. If they want to engage in that, this is what you got to do. And this is a smart thing to do. Now, this is an individual thing. This is for you. If you go to Ohio State, or you go to Penn State, or you go to Michigan, you'll get opportunity to be drafted. You'll be drafted. You don't have to play for no Alabama. Well, you can forget the way they play, but anyhow, you need to get the best guys out there, and the best guys are smart. They're going to follow the other guys. And they're going to say, why are we losing these recruits? Well, here you go. It's not business as usual. Things have changed. Blacks have woken up. Blacks are not going to sit here and play the racial shell game. It's time to change. Now, people say this was happening 2 years ago. Why talk about it now? Well, you wasn't redistrict back then. They didn't change the voting. Could they had done it then? Yeah, but they didn't. They're doing it now. And all it takes, remember, one or two. One or two. Now it's up to them. And it don't have to happen this year. They can work on 2027. When these people start publicly saying they're not going to play for these schools, you're going to see it. Ole Miss, they had a guy, some running back. He wasn't even no top recruit. He was just a running back. He was a decent college football player. He came out public and said he's not going to play for Ole Miss with all of that Confederate flag stuff. And you know what? They got rid of that stuff. It's bad for business. Racism is bad for business. And you're going to find that out. All this Colonel Reb and all. Everybody want to see that racist ass. They got a puppet. They took like a puppet. They took like a puppet, and it's like a Colonel Sanders with a Confederate hat, and they talking about Colonel Reb, and they think black people want to see that foolishness. They think black people want to wake up, you go into college, and you see this racist ass puppet walked up and down, and you're supposed to be cool with that. Colonel Reb. It should have been done, but it wasn't done. It will be done, though. It will be done. It'll be done. It'll be done. A lot of those moms and fathers, they're Democrats. Hardcore Democrats. It's going to be done. It's long overdue. And like I said, focus on the top recruits. Go out and focus on the recruits. Well, they said Ryan Clark. Go talk to Ryan Clark. Go talk to all of these ex-football players. Go talk to them. Half of them are members of the NAACP. Get on the phone, talk to them, understand that now you got to go and get them to decommit. How do you do that? You got to go to their homes. It's going to cost some money. You got to, just like you're recruiting, you got to go sit in there and tell them they don't need to go to these racist colleges. You don't need to be picking cotton for this white man. Go to another school. Go to another conference. But you still got time. But we're right on that. We're right on it. I'd say I can go look it up. They're about to have media day for a lot of these conferences. And this conversation, this question is going to come up. And we'll see how many black people care about what's going on. And it goes back to slavery as a choice. I mean, really, that's what it is. When you talk about SEC football, slavery is a choice because you're choosing to play for a school that's promoting racism. You're going to the University of Tennessee, that's racism, brother. Slavery is a choice. You're going to Georgia, you're going to go play for University of Georgia, that's racism, brother. Brother, you going out here to pick that white man's cotton? You're going to go play at the University of Georgia? You're going to go play for Florida, University of Florida? Old Mississippi? You finna go down there, old Mississippi? They've had race riots. You finna go down there in that stadium where they hate you? Well, they're so racist, there's a goddamn puppet. You know the Oregon Duck, right? You got the Oregon Duck. That's a big puppet. It's University of Oregon. Oregon Ducks. Ole Miss. They have a racist plantation owner. He's got on a Confederate hat. And they dangle him around in front of all the black student body. Just racism and oppression. Come on, man. That should be easy win. You should be able to pluck every black recruit, top tier recruit Get them to get away from Ole Miss. Get them to get in front of a press conference and say, I'm leaving Ole Miss because of the racism. Now we're talking. Now, yeah, it's going to be a backlash because society don't like black people speaking out. They want you to be a nigger. They want you to accept the way things are. Go out there and pick that white man's cotton. You don't have to do that. You're better than that. Transfer. And you guys need to reach out. You got to go reach out to these athletes because you guys don't know. Well, some of them are athletes. Some of them, I'm looking at a lot of these people, I'm surprised by them. They were athletes in college. I don't understand why they don't understand portals and how easy it is, and decommits and recruiting. You can't have 5 minutes on CNN and then declare the job done. It's not. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. I know you don't like that, do you, brother? I know you don't like that, do you? I'm going to get rid of this guy. Isn't that something? If you black and you want fair treatment, you get attacked. You see, they don't like you. See, it's just like, and you know what? This is the thing. It's just like when the lawyers just could come and talk to the sharecroppers and tell the sharecroppers they could now vote. And nobody could deny them voting. What that plantation, you see them in the chat box, here come that plantation owner. What's that guy? What's that old proper talking city boy talking about? Mr. Willie, he came down here talking about voting. Yes, Mr. Willie. That's the same thing. You can say it's 2026. It's the same damn thing. That's why niggas getting in the chat, because they don't like that. They don't like the Negro thinking that he can just leave college, because they want to have their racism. It's like, hey man, how come I can't have my racism? Well, you ain't gonna have it because they're gonna leave, and eventually you won't have your school, because when you don't have Negroes playing, if the Negroes left the SEC, you wouldn't have a conference. You wouldn't have a conference. You wouldn't have one. They're already getting money. So what you gonna do now? And you know, when you go back to the NBA, the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers, they had a fight on the court. Ron Artest. They had a fight on the court, and the players were fighting the fans. And a lot of people didn't understand there was a disconnect. And there's a disconnect now. They were saying the fans, the ones who can afford, seat side, we're in the playoffs, man. Them tickets expensive. The ones who can afford to sit courtside, bottom row, they don't even like the players. They do it out of just, they got tickets. They don't respect the players. That's why it's a fight. When you say who respects the players, well, those are the people in the cheap seats. Those are the true fans. Yeah, they're way up. They don't have that type of money. They don't have $3,000 for a playoff seat, not for a playoff seat. They're trying to take care of their family. So what happened with the NBA is the NBA, and we saw it with the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers, the fight where the fans were being punched. I think Steven Jackson was in the stands. Ron Artest was throwing punch. All of these players were fighting the fans. And what you're going to see now, and that's always been there, you're going to see that get even worse. Malice in the Palace, 2004, you're going to see that even get worse now. Because you see that when a black man decides to exercise his rights, just like when he tried to vote, they hung him. Anytime a black man goes against white supremacy, and when you start talking about slavery as a choice, anytime a Negro thinks he has an option out of slavery, they're going to try to harm those Negroes. So I hope they do it. I hope, and we got to have a few of these Negroes stand up, though. You only need one or two now. As far as black people leaving college, I didn't say that. That's up to them. I would. I would, endure your racism, man, and hammer out that university. And they'll happily hire you to come work, at a Southern company, and you can mop the floor. You ain't gonna have no position of power. They're not gonna let these Negroes be in charge of nothing. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it. These niggas go down there trying to sell cars and they wind up washing the car. They don't let these Negroes walk around in those suits and say, how can I help you, ma'am? Can I help you, sir? And you're working at Mercedes of Georgia, Mercedes of Arkansas, Lexus of Arkansas. There ain't no Negroes out there. You go in there to test drive one. You're going to see Negroes out there mopping floors and cleaning cars. That's what you're going to see. You go in there and say, damn, I would like to buy a car. I'm looking at your salespeople. You know how it go, man. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Y'all want to keep that going? Or to say nothing, do nothing, don't change nothing. Let it keep happening. Let it keep happening. Let it keep happening. It's meant to happen. You know how that go, man. This is the way things are meant to be. And run our test, and there's a disconnect that the SEC is going to see. The SEC fan and the black fan base. There's been a disconnect. See, all of this stuff is going to come out. A lot of this stuff was tampered down, but you're going to see it. And you're going to see these coaches get upset when these players start talking about the racial conditions. These coaches are going to get mad. And you're going to say, well, that's a conflict anyhow. It's going to come out, man. You could thank the Supreme Court. You could thank Donald Trump for this. A lot of people saying that Donald Trump wanted this to happen. The South, man. The South, they did it to themselves. The South did it to themselves, bro. No black SEC hasn't had. See, this is going to spotlight it. This is going to spotlight the SEC don't have black coaches. They've never had a black coach. They had one, I think, official Mississippi State. What was that guy's name? He got fired. I think he was there for 3 years. He got fired. They don't want black. They don't like black excellence like that at that university. Yeah, you could be a football player. You could be a player for them. But yeah, they don't want you to be no coach. So this is going to spotlight that. So now that the NAACP has brought this up, they're going to bring up the fact they don't have black coaches in that conference. And you got to understand, they don't want one. They're racist. But this is going to they're racist, but they don't want to be acknowledged as racist, right? But they are. The NAACP, by bringing this up, boycotting, right? Okay, boycott going to fail, but it's going to bring the spotlight of the racism of the SEC. It's going to put the spotlight on them. They don't want that. That's going to happen. That's going to affect recruiting. All of these states who redistrict, it's going to affect everything in that state. It's going to affect it, man. And slavery is a choice. So the Negroes who go play for Alabama, Georgia, Florida, you're a slave. You chose to go to a university that exploits you, the state that hates you. You're a slave. You're a slave. You can try to play with that all you want to. You can joke around with that. You are a slave. You are a slave. If you go to Southeastern Conference University to play football, play sports, you're a slave. You can transfer, period. Now, if you ain't that good, you ain't going to the pro, you lucky to get admission to these schools, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. That's a decision you have to make. But you still putting your life at risk. It's a new day in the South, brother. You don't know. You've never dealt with white supremacists unleashed. They're unleashed now. The Chud, the Butlers, he's the beginning. He's the tip of the iceberg. I feel sorry for the young ladies, the young women of color, man, walking around with these bigots, these racist coyotes, looking for something to harm. They're going to happen, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, man. It's sad. I wish it didn't happen, but it's going to happen. And the Negroes empowered it. Every Negro at that university, it's going to happen. And every black person at that university, you are the reason, because you empowered them to do what they're doing. You said it don't matter that you don't have any rights. You said that it's okay that you're a second-class citizen. Okay, well, then they get to bop you upside the head anytime they want to, and you got to take it. And you got to take it. And you Negroes better keep your eyes peeled messing with these white women. You really think that stuff is over? Okay. Go get your brotherhood snow. You better hope Billy Badass, he don't see you. You guys playing with fire, bro. You have no idea how interwoven racism is in the South. You just don't, you have no concept. You don't even know what it is. It's the cement that holds the South together, racism. If the South was an engine, racism would be the gasoline that drives the engine. It's the same thing. If you could take the racism out, guess what? The engine don't work. You follow me? In order to get it to work, got to put that racism. It's there, man. And now it's unleashed. It's out there now. And we're not going, just like we saw with Trayvon Martin and all of that, the Negro don't wake up until after the fact. It's going to be something bad's going to happen. This man said, I think Trump's not a racist. I think Trump panders to racists. That would make him a racist. Okay, he's pandering to racists. That makes him a racist. What's there to talk about? Who's fooled by that? How come black people don't have a right to vote? Why are they so concerned how black people vote? You can vote for anybody you want to vote for, right? It's called freedom, right? When it comes, yeah, but not to black people. And it's also called freedom. That's why you can transfer. It's called freedom. You're free to transfer to another school. It's called freedom. You have all of that. You do not have to play for these racist schools. They're using you and they only want to use your talent so they can make money. Transfer. Transfer. Tell them you'll happily return when they stop discriminating against your fellow man. Tell them you'll happily return. Until then, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Someone said, what about the professional teams? What about them? But see, this is what the professional teams, this is what you better be. This is the danger. They'll move those teams, man. The NFL don't care. They'll move a team. You better be careful with that because the NFL, very liberals. They're very liberal. They'll move a team. And the Titans, terrible year last year. Before that, terrible year. If you ain't making no money, the owners will sell the team. They don't need the stadium. You got you a big old hole in the ground. But you no longer have a professional team. And if you do not want them to publicly say, I sold the team because of the racism in it, you don't want them. If they do that, and they might do that, you never know. You never know. It's very possible, man. I don't understand people. I don't understand why people don't want to deal with reality. This stuff is happening. Emmett Till effect. Yeah. Yep. It's bound to happen. Knight and Bishop says the militant feminists are the ones ruining the Democratic Party. The feminists ruin the show in the Democratic Party. You could be a Democrat, you could be a Republican, but I would hope you would be a fair American and you judge people by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. They just got judged by the color of their skin. They just said, hey, a bunch of black people in this district, we got to change it. Why? Because they black. That's judging them by the color of their skin. Why not leave the district alone? Why not? They changed it because they're judging them by the color of their skin. That's exactly what they did. And that's what they're doing. And black people can either accept it, and that's fine. Go pick that white man's cotton, but shut up. Shut up. When you lose, when you get violated, shut your mouth. Nobody cares, man. Shut up. When they use you and you blow out your knee and they slowly write you out and your scholarship is no longer, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. All is good. When they never have a black head coach, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. That's black people need to shut up. There ain't nothing to see here. Ain't no racism here. And this is what the Negro has to deal with. This is the world he lives in. This is what he has to deal with. It's not about a militant feminist. It's about a person being denied an opportunity to make their way and live their life, man. It's about that. I'm looking at it right now. Offensive line, quarterback. Let me see. I'm looking at this dude, Keenan Spell. Get him out of there. I'm looking at a guy right now for Tennessee. Yeah, bro. Woo. I'm looking at the University of Tennessee. These Negroes gonna have to decommit. Texas, got to get them out of Texas. Got to get them out of Georgia. You had 17 players, commits. 15 for Georgia, 15 for Alabama. All of these are young, and they're not all black players, but I say at least significantly 13, 14 out of the 17. Auburn, 15. If they can, all you need is 2 or 3. Target Auburn, target Alabama, target Georgia, target Texas. You're trying to get 3 linemen, cornerbacks, running backs, quarterbacks, publicly transfer, and then your boycott matters. Now, it's not over this year, but you got to get you some commit. You got to get some people to change it. It may take 2 years, but yes, certainly next year. Certainly next year, you don't have a choice. No doubt about it. Next year, you got to get somebody to leave. Now he says Coach Prime. Coach Prime, that's up to him, man. That's completely up to Coach Prime. What he does, that's a choice he's gonna have to make, man. He can leave them alone. He could say it don't matter. That's up to him. I'll tell you this though, he needs it. He needs some recruits. He don't have no quarterback. Colorado's terrible. They're awful. He better hop on this moment, bro. And he's not even close. Colorado wasn't even close to being in the top 10 of recruits. You missed the point, Platt. The Democrats did this to themselves because the Democrats have pandered to feminists for so long. It allowed the GOP to gain disproportionate power in order to do this stuff. Okay. Okay. The Democrats. Okay. But what has got to do with the racism, though, brother? We got to do something about the racism. I don't want to be discriminated against because I'm black. They don't discriminate against me or they don't try to harm me because I'm a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat, but if I'm a I don't even. You could be a black conservative, and they would put a noose around your neck. They're doing it because you black. I'm not a Democrat, but I am not a black conservative, and I can tell you that right now. I'm no more black conservative than I am a Democrat. Neither one of them. I'm actually an independent, but you're gonna have to do something, man. You know, and that is the Negro. You let the white man make your bed, man. Let the white man wait for him, and that's what you can do. And go wait on him, man. Wait on him. I know the SEC, bro. I know what they're about. I know what SEC football is about. I know what it's about. And we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's just a matter of time. Slavery is a choice, and we'll see that this year in college football. Slavery is a choice. That's right. Lead these racist schools. Slavery is a choice, and we're going to see that this college football year. Slavery is a choice. And we need a recruit. We need the top recruit for Georgia to say slavery is a choice, and I'm choosing not to participate in slavery. I'm going to Ohio State. That's all we need. You don't need. That's all. It's over with right there. It's over with. That whole conference. They can hang. They can roll up the rug. The conference is over, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. You saw with Travis Hunter. You're going to get decommits from these big schools going to these other schools, and they sit and have a press conference, and they're going to explain why they did it. They did it because of the racism, and they're gone. And you can say it should have. It's always been like that. Okay, well they're taking care of it now. They didn't take care of it. They're doing it now. I don't know what this has to do with the Democrat. This has to do with fairness. Do you want to be discriminated against? You want to be a second class citizen? The white supremacist has successfully brainwashed these fools into making everything political. What does racism got to do with politics? It's called right and wrong, right? The white supremacist always hid behind politics to push his agenda. He's always pretended that he was a friend of the black man when he's not. And we see that right now. And it's long overdue. It's long overdue. Yeah, this should have been this should have been settled years ago, but it wasn't. Um, but now and they need to do it. They just need to do it, man. Black people need to demand fair treatment. And that's the problem. They won't demand it. The white man shuts them up and they shut up. Hey, Negro, I'm giving you a scholarship. And well, you better shut up. Man, you know what? And you guys take that. You guys take that type of disrespect. I'll pull my scholarship. Pull your scholarship. Man, you don't have to go to these schools, man. You don't have to go to these schools. This is a wonderful opportunity. This is another thing too. Let the thugs, and that's what you're going to be left with. The smart Negroes get out of the South and leave them with the thugs. You can have these filthy fucking thugs. You can have them try to run a community filled with criminals and drug addicts. You can have the thugs, man. Man, you don't get away from the South. Get out of there. Get out of there, man. Go to Big Ten. Get the fuck out of there. You're better than that. And you can do more than that. And let them say, hey, we don't need you. Okay. You don't need me. Okay. 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 And it's going to be a fight, man. And what are you going to do? It's going to be a fight. It's not going to be easy. But you got all the cards. All you need is about 5 recruits. And it's over. And I think you're going to get them. I think you can get them. I think you're going to get them. All you need is 5 recruits. And all of this SEC football, all of that stuff, it's over. Because it is slavery. It's nothing but slavery. And it's been acceptable because blacks needed to get into college. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now you can go to another school and you can help your people out. And in the process, you can help out your people. And this is long overdue. Every time I saw clips of players practicing at Alabama, it was like they was on the cotton fields. Yeah, they got cotton fields out here, man. That's some hard work, man. That's back-breaking work. Your back, that is back-breaking work picking cotton, man. 12 all day for you pick cotton from sun up to sundown. So you pick cotton 8, 9 hours, 10 hours a day, and you ate salt pork and cornmeal. Yeah, it's basically what you ate. Fat back, a little fat back, some cornmeal. That's what you ate, man. That's all they ate. Maybe an onion. Maybe there was some onions there, or something. But no, they didn't have no spices. The whole salt shaker. There was no such thing as a salt shaker, man. There wasn't no salt and pepper shakers. You ate it without any seasoning. You ate it. And you got beaten and you got your ass right back out in them fields. You kept picking that cotton. And if you died, what they say, if he dies, he dies. They don't care. And I think somewhere the Negro has lost his way, man. But we're gonna help them find it, man. We're gonna get them back on the right direction. Slavery is a choice. If you play SEC football, you're a slave. Slavery is a choice. Simple as that. There's nothing else to talk about. The line has been drawn. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna play in the SEC? Slavery is a choice. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You're gonna transfer. Now we talking. Transfer out of there. You're gonna stay there. Slavery is a choice. No matter how you try to reinvent that wheel, slavery is a choice. And it's always been a choice. Like the stream, man. It's Friday. What we finna get into? It's Friday. It's Friday. Oh, we got a long way to go, man. I'm looking at the first. We got about 9 days. Yeah. These phones something else, bro. You know what? That's why you lose your phone all the time, man. All that vibrating, it slides right out of your pocket. This is long overdue. It's high time black people stood up for themselves. If they go along to get along, they're gonna have to shut up because on one side of the fence you talking racism, yet you playing in the SEC. You can't do both. You can't do both. You can't do both. I want to see what Peyton and Eli got to say. They have a pretty popular podcast that they do with Monday Night Football. I want to see what Peyton's got to think. What do you think about the racism, Peyton? The Negro needs to shut up, shut his mouth, and feel lucky that he's okay. How come I'm not surprised he would say something like that? I'm not surprised he would say that. He probably does think the Negroes need to shut up. But this is long overdue, man. And just because they throwing the book at Chud the Builder, that doesn't alleviate the racism that black people have to endure. It doesn't change it at all. Like the stream, man. Like the stream. All they need is one top recruit, bro. That's all they need. Just one top recruit. And it's over. And they're going to get them. They're going to get them, bro. It's just a matter of time. And when they get them, they're going to get a leader. They're going to get a guy who could shut up, probably go top 10 playing for SEC school. He could just shut up and do it. But you're going to get somebody who's willing to say, hey, no, it's the right thing to do. I transferred out of that school. And until they change, I would recommend others transfer. And that's going to happen, man. It's just going to happen. Anybody who keeps up with college football knows, people transfer all the time. Quarterback starts out, they play for South Florida. They play a year for South Florida. Transfer, hop in the portal, go up to Maryland, play a year for Maryland. Hop in the portal, go to Penn State, play a year for Penn State. They look around, say your draft prospects aren't that good. They got another year left. Next thing you know, they done transferred to Texas. Now they're starting quarterback for Texas. And their potential to become an NFL quarterback goes up. They're saying the players need to do this and be a little bit more public with why they're doing it, and that will solve the problems that we're currently having, bro. And the Negroes don't understand. This is for college kids. See, it's a completely different type of Negro. When you talk about the dusty nigga, who cares? You can stay in Mississippi or leave. Who cares? You're probably a criminal. And you're probably running around with your hand out begging the white man for food stamps, right? Nobody cares what they do. We're talking about college kids. We're talking about the future of America. These people are going to be leaving the South, and they're going to find their way in other places. And you're going to see that, man. And they don't have criminal records. That's another thing. They don't have a history of criminal behavior. You know, YouTube has really opened the door up to it just don't even make some of the stuff that said, listen, this is an adult conversation. We need Black people to leave those schools and transfer. This is an adult conversation. These people, you're a college person, you're trying to have a future, you need to make the country better. You're independent, you need to transfer. You don't have to stay up under anybody's thumb. You don't have to suck up to the white supremacists just so you can get something. That's what a lot of these Negroes do. Like the stream, man. Slavery is a choice. SEC football. What you gonna do? You gonna line up or not? Like the stream, man. Bless the Cash App, man. What we doing over here? Support the platform, man. We got a lot of niggas in their feelings. Bruh. We got to reach out here, bro. They be listening to me, bro. A lot of these niggas in their feelings. Clowns. Woo, bro. Oh, y'all, hold up. Yeah, like the stream, man. What we gonna do? We gonna accept this? We gonna send our kids out there to play for these universities and let them get hurt, and they got a permanent limp, and let them get told that they don't deserve no type of compensation because they Blacks, and Blacks are second-class citizens? Is that what you want? Or you want Blacks to be treated fair? What do you want? You know, Trump said that too when Trump went after Obama. Forget all this Democrat, Republican foolery. That's lies. Those are lies. That has nothing to do with Trump being no Republican. Trump's not even, many people tell you he's not a Republican. Trump went after Obama because he's Black. And Trump went after Obama and his wife because they're Blacks. And he's feeding that to the white supremacists. He's feeding that to them. Let me put them on some monkeys and let me tweet them out here. Because the white supremacist likes that. Let me feed these Negroes racism. And Trump's going to come out and say something stupid and say, oh, Black people shouldn't be allowed to transfer. Come on, please, Trump. Tell the truth. Because you're going to say it, right? These Negroes don't have a right to transfer. Okay. Okay. Hey, Trump, you know they can protest the Olympics. Do you know that, Trump? Trump, you know, the Black player can say, I no longer want to be a part of the Olympics until this country does right by my people. Guess what? When you can't get all of those NBA players, when they said we're going to sit out this year because of racism, guess what, Trump? You look real stupid, Trump. You keep trying to cut the Black man out. You want the Black man to be a slave. A lot of Black people, they're done with the slavery thing. They're not going to be a slave. You got to understand that. And a lot of these Negroes, half of these Negroes, you niggas are a bunch of criminals. If it wasn't for Google, your ass would be raking my fucking leaves. Come on, man. What we doing? And look, hats off to me, man. Look, hats off to me. I think I did 250,000 with the Trump video. Hats off to me. I had no membership. I don't really advertise. You see what I'm saying, though? You see what I'm saying, though? Shout out to Gordy for the $10 holler, man. Support the platform, man. Support the platform, man. Where we at, man? You can make your financial donation. There you go. $10 holler. Hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat, hit the Cash App, plat for game. Cash App sign with money sign, plat for game. That's all lowercase with the 4 being a 4. Plat for game. Also, if you want a side a consultation, we don't really offer those like that, but we can do that. Hit me up in the Cash App. Let me know what you want to do. We can, hey, you got the bread. You got the bread, I can get the chick. I can get the chick, bro. Believe me, ain't no woman alive I can't smash. Ain't a woman alive. The woman I can't smash, she don't exist. What's up with your box, JR?
Hey man, shout out to the 250K man on the vid. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they threw me in the algorithm for a minute, man, and we flooded around.
And run them numbers up.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Man.
I said, damn, for this channel? That was funny.
250? Hey, doing your thing, man. They need to put you in the algorithm more, man. You be talking about some real shit.
I'm in it now. But not for this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For some reason, they put me in this stuff with Trump or politics. For some reason, they want me to talk politics. I don't know why.
That's a sore subject for a lot of people, man, on both sides of the line. On either side, man. It's gonna bring out the worst in people on both sides.
You agree with this? Slavery is a choice, right? SEC football. You agree, right?
That is a choice.
If you go play for SEC, that's a choice, right?
Yeah, I mean you make a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slavery is a choice.
I wouldn't say all
I
that.
I didn't say was. I said is. I'm talking about now, modern day.
Yeah, I mean it. Like
there
I said,
you go.
it's a choice. It's a choice for them to go to that school, but again, I just think the messaging was just a tad bit off with NAACP. I do agree with the stance of putting the players at the forefront like that. I'm always going to be that. I was a former player myself on the collegiate ranks, but the adults still need to be held accountable. And when I say adults, I mean the coaches that are recruiting, these position coaches that are 6-figure, 7-figure salaries at these institutions. And the NAACP didn't say a thing about them. They didn't say, coach such and such that's making whatever, because it's public knowledge. You can look up and see how much their contracts are.
Just
tell them to walk out.
I feel you, JR, but those dudes don't matter. And what I mean, if a guy is a cornerback coach for Alabama and he decides to go to Northwestern and he says it's because racial reasons, okay, he can say that, right? He can. He certainly can say that, but it's not going to have the same impact if a top recruit. You see what I'm saying? To a certain degree, it is show. You do need the show part.
I can see from an impact part, right? Because look, the player's name will always be bigger than the coach. Once a player achieves a certain status, their name will become bigger than the coach. You see it in the NFL all the time. Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is the biggest name of the franchise in totality. So that even happens on the collegiate level. There's some coaches that you just can't surpass, but there's some players, their name becomes bigger than the program or the coach themselves, especially the position coaches, because you don't know their names. You only know the head coach's name. But to me, I think the impact would be the position coaches leaving, because that's who recruited me to come to the school. That's who I spend an abundance of time with. Basketball a little bit different. Your head coaches is going to be there. We're a smaller knit group, but I've seen it from a collegiate side. When I attended the University of Houston my freshman year, I've seen it there. I've been in the dorm rooms with these football players, and yeah, man, I got to go sit with a position coach to talk about X, Y, and Z. They rarely are in front of their head coach. Rarely. They're more in front of the position coaches, and these position coaches are black. I'm talking about wide receiver, running back, defensive line, linebacker coach,
But they don't
defensive
have
back
the
coach,
same,
safety coach.
they don't have the same impact as a top recruit.
I mean, I get it. I get it,
Well,
Platt.
no. You have to understand, because okay, they don't have the impact of a top recruit, and they're not even getting the head coach's job. So the fact that they're a position coach for one of these SEC schools, it ain't like the school's even giving them a fair chance to be the head coach. So they already under the thumb. So I'm saying they already been oppressed and discriminated against. Now all of a sudden you're saying the NAACP should address them. That's up to them. They're talking about the future. That, brother, let me tell you something. They need 1 or 2 this year. Maybe they'll get 5 or 6. But I'm telling you, next year, they can wipe them clean.
It won't happen, Platt.
Well, you're right. It might not. But then again, slavery is a choice.
It will not happen.
Slavery is a choice. Slavery is a choice. Slavery is not was. Slavery now. This modern day slavery is a choice. It's a choice. If you choose to play for SEC football, you are choosing to be a slave. Slavery is a choice. And they need to understand that.
And I would say that to the coaches.
That's exactly what it is.
I would say that to the coaches. You're enabling a slave mentality. That's what I would say to the coaches, because it's hard pressed for you to tell a young adult between the ages of, some of them young as 17 when they're starting to get recruited, 16 when they're starting to get recruited. So let's say from 16 to the age of 24, 25 now, since they're in college so long, to say, you know what? Look, I'm making $600,000 a year at this job. I didn't put this, you can see my track record. I'm the defensive back coach at Alabama. You see all these players I put in the league.
JR, he doesn't matter because he's not visible. He's not a visible figure.
He matters, Platt, because
no, he doesn't, because he's not going to move the needle. If he decides to transfer, if he transfers to USC, nobody knows who he is now. Nobody knows who he is now.
But the players know.
JR,
players follow coaches.
JR.
Players follow coaches. That's all I'm saying.
You need the top recruits, JR.
Top recruits follow coaches. They do all the time.
You need the top recruits to lead.
But that's what I'm saying, Platt. Players follow coaches. So if I'm a football player and my defensive back coach leaves the school and say, I'm going to USC because whatever, Alabama, they're gerrymandering, blah, 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 blah. Those 8 or 9 young men, and one of them probably a top recruit sitting in that room, man, my DB coach leaving, I'm leaving too. They follow their position coaches.
Okay, understood.
They do it all the time.
Understood. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. You gotta get at these coaches too.
If you get the top recruits gonna leave because the top recruits are leaving.
No, they leave because of their position.
Yes, they will. Georgia's the linebacker.
Often, Platt.
No, Georgia Georgia has a linebacker, top recruit linebacker. If that guy leaves, if that guy say I'm going to Ohio State, there's a bunch of other players on that team that's going to follow. Not necessarily going to Ohio State, but they're going to leave because he left. He's top 10 recruits.
It will not happen, Platt.
You get an opportunity to play with a football player,
it will not happen.
A generational talent. You're going to follow that, just like a quarterback, just like someone. You look at Arch. Arch is going to project you to be a first-round pick. You look at a guy. Hold up. You look at a guy like Wingo. I think he's a junior. Wingo, right? I don't know if he's coming out. He could.
Yeah.
Very fast, great hands, but he wasn't heavily recruited. He's an okay player. He went to Texas. It's not like, he's nothing.
He was a 5-star athlete, Wingo.
I don't know. Was he? Was Wingo a
Yes,
5-star? Is he? Is he a
yes,
5-star?
yes. 5-star wide receiver
You know what
coming
I'm
out
talking
of the
about?
state of Florida, Wingo. Yes, yes. I followed University of Texas football. That is my
Okay.
team.
Okay, Wingo. Now you take a guy like Wingo. What if Wingo say he going to USC? That's a big deal, man. So no, the people here
Not a big
don't
deal.
don't understand that all he has to do is transfer and say I'm doing it because of the racism. And I'm telling you, it's going to impact the conference. It's very competitive to get these players.
It
It's
won't
very
impact it.
competitive. It's
Blacks.
very competitive to get people to come out to watch your team, support your coach, support the university.
It
If
won't
these
impact it.
players,
Blacks.
if these top players, if they can get these 5 stars to start leaving, if they can get that, it's going to affect that state. It's
You
going
need
to affect everything about
Black.
that state. And it's
You
going to
would
draw attention to the people there who
you would
are oppressed.
need you
It's
would
going to
need
draw attention to the blacks in Alabama, in Georgia, in Arkansas, Mississippi, who
the two.
live under
That's
oppression.
that's two singular plat. You talking about one or two players. If Arch Manning decided to leave to go to USC, that's great for Arch. He gonna get paid. But you know what's behind Arch? Another 5-star, highly talented quarterback that's gonna be at the University of Texas. That's
Actually,
how they recruit
it's
in those
actually a
areas.
it's actually a black guy.
Yeah, Diabell, his son. I mean, the daddy played in the NBA with the Suns. Diabell, that's the next 5-star quarterback right behind Arch Manning. So the talent drop off is not going to be significant to make a guy be like, well, Arch leaving, I'm leaving too. No, you need a multitude of players. It would have to be Arch, Wingo, Cam Coleman, the running back, the 3 of the offensive line. You would need like 10 players to like, we not playing until something happened. Because
Okay,
it's
so
not,
you
it would
admit,
not make a dent for one player or two players to leave. You need multiple. You'll probably need upwards about 15 to 20 players, highly talented on teams to just leave and go somewhere else.
and you're going to get that. They don't have it now. No, they do
It
not
won't
have it
happen
now.
now. Yeah, it won't happen now. I hope it happens in the future. I hope it does. But that's why I say you got to go after the position coaches. I agree with NAACP message. You get to these young folk and you let them know this is worth fighting for. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But you cannot exclude the adults that are making hand over fist money, 6 and 7 figure jobs, and then leave it to the younger generation to say, well, they're getting their money. You don't worry about getting your money. You go somewhere else. No, those position coaches need to speak up and say, you know what, I'm leaving too. Because they have a career. They could go to Ohio State and be a running back coach. They could go to USC and be a running back coach. And guess what? They still have those relationships with those young men, and those young men that are in their position rooms will follow them. I see it all the time in sports. All the time.
Well,
All the time.
The SEC, the NAACP. Well, first of all, yeah, that's oil and water. But the NAACP, you got Ryan Clark, you have I think Shannon, you have a lot of players, right? Who are associated. It might even be Dion. I don't know. Who are associated with NAACP. You got to go and contact these former players, and you need to sit down with them and understand the way college football is handled, understand transfer portals and all of that. You cannot come out and say black people leave the SEC alone blanketly like that and then think that that's going to move the needle. No, it's going to take a lot of hard work, but you do have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Now,
You got to strike while the iron is hot for sure.
It's going to take time though. I'm saying if they get serious, I'd say this year, all you need is one recruit. They still got a chance. They got a chance, man. They got a chance. They can get one of these SEC recruits. I say one, maybe two. But next year, that's when you really cut into them because now you've had a year, the parents, They see the opportunities. You got Indiana coming off of a championship. Maybe Indiana wins again. And they say, hey, you can go to these other schools. You don't have to go to these SEC schools. And then we'll see how they'll take another look. You can challenge the SEC, the Southeastern Conference. You challenge them, you sit them down in a room, and you stand up and you challenge them. Take another look at your racism. Do you think it's okay to treat black people as second-class citizens? And you say, well, we didn't do that. So yeah, you did do it because you give campaign money to these legislators. And these legislators are the one who's doing it. So do you believe in fairness? Yes, we believe in fairness. Well, I'll attend your university if you, A, won't support these racist legislators and you publicly come out and say you do not support racism and you do not support this return to the South. And if you Ole Miss, you say, I want all of it. I want you to change your colors to blue and gray. I want you to change your colors to green and yellow. I want the uniform change. I want it all gone. I don't want nothing associated with the South. Nothing. And they should have been done. They should have been done that to Ole Miss.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why anybody would send their loved ones to Ole Miss anyway. But again, like I said, when you have the representation of somebody that looks like you, that's wearing an Ole Miss polo shirt and some khaki pants and some Nike shoes, sitting in your living room with your mama, your daddy, your grandma, and they as black as you, and they saying, you see that young man I put in the NFL last year, and the ones before that, blah, 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 blah. This is the straightest path. I'll take care of your son while we're there, this and the third. Because that recruit that's sitting in the living room with his parents and that running back coach and that scout recruit that are both black, that are in the living room with that black family gonna be looking at that black running back coach like, just take care of my baby. He got a dream of going to the NFL. If this is the most direct route, this is where we want him to go. Because it's a proven concept. You taking a chance going somewhere else. That's why I say you gotta get at these coaches. You take that same Ole Miss running back coach and you take him to wherever. Take him to Colorado with Deion. And now you have him going to sit in these recruits' office and say, hey man, I'm at the University of Colorado. I was a former Ole Miss coach. I couldn't stand it anymore. The racism and blah, 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 whatever the pitch gotta be. Now come to Colorado.
I don't have a lot of faith in Deion Sanders. I just don't, man.
I mean,
I'm the wrong guy. I'm the wrong guy to talk.
It could be whatever school.
First of all,
it could be Virginia.
I think he won.
University of Maryland. It could be wherever.
I think he won. I think he won because of Shador. I think Shador was a good college quarterback. I personally have always said Shador should have went to Alabama. I think his father, his selfish ass father, derailed him and had him come to Colorado. Okay, he went through hell in NFL. I blame Deion for that. The disrespect, Deion. Now we're looking at Deion. Deion hadn't said nothing as it opposed to fleecing these SEC schools. Deion, you're hired.
And he's not going to say nothing.
Deion, you got to open up your mouth, Deion. Now, Deion, they predict you to be the worst. What is he in the ACC?
They're in the Big 12. But he's not going to say nothing.
Deion, you are being predicted to be the worst coach in the Big 12. Now, what you going to do? You going to sit here and kiss the white man's ass? Or are you going to stand up like a man and use your platform to speak? You know, we are not all millionaires. We see that you got a private lake. We see the expensive boats. We see the cars. We see the garage full of money. We see that. We see the little 27-year-old girlfriend.
Come on,
you know, even though they had to rip half your ass out, right? When you went to the hospital, we see that. We see the little 28-year-old girlfriend. What you gonna do for the black people though, man? What you gonna do? You gonna stay quiet?
I mean, what has any other black coach come out and said anything?
Well, I don't know about no
Lockley
black.
from
I don't know about
University of
no black.
Maryland,
I don't know
he's
about
not
no.
saying nothing. Tony Baker, a black coach at the University of Virginia, he not. It's a multitude of black. Hell, even the coach at Notre Dame, he half black. He ain't saying nothing either. So look, I don't
He
think they're gonna
should.
come. I
He
don't think
should. Hold on.
any
Hold
of
up.
those.
Hold
I
up.
don't
He
think
should. He
he
should
should.
say
Yeah,
something.
I think Freeman should come out and say something too. I think they all should come out and say something because there's only a handful of Division I black head coaches. I think they should all come out and say
Well, I
something.
don't think it. I don't think it should be Whitehead coach. I hate that Lane Kiffin is still in the SEC. I think Lane, because Lane said he hated Ole Miss. See, we make this broad assumption that white people all support racism. No, they don't.
Nah,
No, they don't. No. Because Lane Kiffin didn't like this. You got to understand Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is a Yankee, in a sense, the way he carries himself. Okay.
Lane Kiffin is Trump reincarnated. You know
No,
what?
he's not. No, he's
Before
not.
he said that statement, you know what kind of hat he had? He said, "Make LSU great again." A reference to MAGA. Come on, man. I ain't buying nothing from Lane Kiffin.
I am. And Lane Kiffin was up front. He gained nothing by saying it. He could have played together. Let me tell you something, bro. A lot of these basketball schools, right? You SEC, let's talk about the SEC. A lot of times, they have a basketball team. They'll recruit a good basketball coach, right? I'm gonna give you one. John Calipari, right? John Calipari, he coached University of Memphis for years. You know what he didn't do? They have a thing called the 100 Club. He wouldn't go. They used to get mad at him because of that. It was a good old boys club. And he said, that ain't me. He went, he's an Italian guy. He's looking at those fucking racist ass rednecks. He said, that's not me. And it was like, why don't you ever go to those things? He said, well, I'm sorry. I'm not, I just feel no reason to go to stuff like that. Basically, pseudo Klan rallies. Now, he was an Italian, John Calipari. Now, I know he's coaching Arkansas or something, but what I'm saying is he was an Italian white man. He wasn't down with that racism. He wasn't down with that hatred. And he came out to coach the team, but he was like, what's going on here? And the same thing with Kentucky. Kentucky is SEC. Everybody don't support this racism. So we keep talking about the black coaches. What about the white head coaches? They should be out here saying something. The Ryan Days, this new guy with Penn State, they need to be up front. Michigan State, you need to be actively recruiting, taking players away from the SEC. The SEC doesn't deserve black talent. They don't deserve it. Let them put white talent out there. You guys are a bunch of racists. Go get you a white linebacker. Go get you Alfonso Munzo out of North Dakota.
Come on, Alfonso Munzo.
And stick him out there to cover the tight ends.
Brother that sound more like a Caribbean name than a white name. You out of control, man.
Alfonso Sausages out of North Dakota.
But yeah, look, I agree with you, man. But look, will the coaches come out and say anything? I highly doubt it. Lane Kiffin came out and said something because it benefits him, saying that he left Ole Miss and he can say whatever he want about Ole Miss. That's his MO, man. Every school he has left, whether it be Tennessee, USC, whatever, he's not short of breath to come out and say something negative towards that school. It's a proven track record for him. So that's why I'm like, I don't really buy what he's saying. Now, is it truthful, what he's saying? Absolutely. I absolutely believe it's truthful, but he's just looking to benefit. It's a recruiting tactic for him. Yeah, why would you go there when you come here and do this at LSU, blah, 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 blah.
That's all Lane was trying to do. He was trying to steal their players.
That's it. And for me, I'm waiting to see what Ryan Clark has to say, right? Because Louisiana State University was on that NAACP list too. And Ryan Clark, alumni of LSU. So what would he say to a young black recruit and the gerrymandering is happening in Louisiana and stuff like that? So, that's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see former players from those institutions come out and say, yeah, that's wrong. I would not tell a young man to go to a school where I'm currently or I'm a figurehead at that school. I'm an alumni at that school. None of them have come out and said anything yet. None of them. You know why?
I think Ryan said something. I don't know. I didn't see it. I heard on somebody said, I think Jason Whitlock attacked Ryan Clark, said he said something. I haven't seen him. No, I haven't seen what he said.
Yep, I haven't seen. That's why I'm waiting to see it. I got my ear to the street.
Well,
I'm reading up news articles all the time on it.
You got SEC Media Day. You got Big 12 Media Day. All of these guys are going to have to sit behind that counter and explain what their position is with black people being the content of their character don't matter. The only thing they care about is their race. That's why they took their districts, because they're saying we don't trust you Negroes to vote the right way. So what we're gonna do is bury you Negroes in all these districts. So guess what? Perhaps in your district that you're in as a black person, perhaps the schools are not sufficient. Perhaps the schools are fine in the white district, in the suburbs. Perhaps the schools are overfunded, but the ones that you share, underfunded. So what are you going to do, Mr. Politician? I'm going to keep it the way it is. But Mr. Politician, can you fund my schools? Nope. What you going to do about it, Negro? Go vote? I got the votes. So now we can strip you Negroes of everything, your schools, your no jobs, opportunities. Jim Crow point 2.0. Slavery all over again. It's slavery. We're living under that right now as I speak. We're under slavery all over again. Jim Crow 2.0. It's all over. You see it right now.
Definitely a sad state of affairs. It is, for sure. It's a sad state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm waiting on. All these former players that went to these SEC schools, the Marcus Spears, the Ryan Clarks, that went to LSU, I'm waiting for them to say something. They got loud voices, man. They got huge platforms. I'm waiting for them to be loud on this. But right now, all I'm hearing is crickets. Media Day coming up. I think like maybe June, early July or something for most of these Power 4 schools. I'm waiting for the questions to be asked and see how the coaches maneuver around those questions and fail to answer it directly. And I'm just a head football coach.
Slavery is a choice. And we NAACP, if you're out there, slavery is a choice. You need to do a press conference and tell these Negroes slavery is a choice. What you're going to do? You're going to join the SEC and pick the white man's cotton. You're going to go out there and pick Wingo. You're going to go pick cotton with Arch Manning. Huh? You're going to do that? Because if they lose Wingo, JR, that's a good, whoever that is, that's a good player. Because he cost me money, JR. They were, man, a lot of third downs, 3rd and 15. This guy, him and Arch, they got a connection, man. I don't know what it is. So if he lost him, he would suffer. But what you going to do? You're going to go and pick the white man's cotton, or you're going to transfer? You're going to go to Ohio State. You're going to go to Notre Dame. You're going to go to Penn State. You're going to go to, I almost said Texas Tech. You're going to go to these other colleges and be done with the SEC. If you go to the SEC, you picking the white man's cotton, and you should be clowned. Slavery is a choice. You chose slavery. You had a chance for freedom. You chose slavery, Negro. And on these TikToks and all these social media pages, let these Negroes, which way you going to go? You going to choose freedom, or you going to choose slavery? And that's exactly what we're going to see with the SEC. Slavery is a choice. What you going to do, dumb nigga? You going to go out here and become a slave for the white man? or are you gonna go out here and change things? And that's what is coming down. That's the thing. You're gonna have to make a decision what you're gonna do. What you gonna do, Negro? You gonna go out here and pick this white man's cotton? You gonna go play for Tennessee and pick the white man's cotton? You gonna go out here and play for Auburn and Alabama and LSU? You gonna pick the white man's cotton, or you gonna seek freedom? What you gonna do, Negro? The ball is in your court. And let me say something to you, JR, because I think we might have a disagreement. JR, I didn't particularly care for Harriet Tubman. You hear me? Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. I was a fan as a kid because I was told.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't care for. I know you. I think you might be a supporter. I didn't care for Harriet Tubman.
Dang.
You support that?
Yeah. I mean, she's a part of the process to start liberation for Black people.
Yeah, but
moving them in a different direction.
Did you approach her methods the way she did it?
I mean, look, during those times, the way history is depicted, you got to do what you got to do.
So you support? I don't support that, JR. I don't support what she was doing. Unless I hear something different. But I looked at it briefly, and I knew she was a what they call it, the Underground Railroad and all of that.
Yeah.
And she was a freedom fighter. I get that. But when I found out she was waking people up, slaves, in the middle of the night and saying, follow her. And when a guy said, hey, what are we doing? And she said, I'm taking you to freedom. And he said, well, I don't want freedom. And then she murdered him. See, that's what I'm saying. I disagree with that. I can't abide by that. I can't believe people can sit up here and say that shit was okay. Man, them people don't know. Them people are slaves. They can't read. They can't write. All they know is that white man's plantation. How you going to take the man out the plantation? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fucking invent a nuclear bomb? What are you going to do? Give him freedom for what? It's going to have to come from a different position. It can't come from the position of a fucking gun barrel. She should have left him alone. No, look, I get her point, but you got to also understand everybody can't handle freedom. And that doesn't mean they have to be eliminated. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if that was a boast. If that's true,
if that's true, right? That's a big if behind it. If that's true, right, then absolutely. Like you killing your own people for a cause they may not understand.
Yeah.
Or because literacy was a real thing back then, so it may not be a cause they even understood. So if that is the case, look, I don't agree with you taking the life of somebody else, especially somebody that look like you. But I don't know that to be true. You know, what I know to be true is she was a freedom fighter, and she was a key component, a key cog in the Underground Railroad. So that's what I know of her.
Yeah, but I can understand, okay, I'm taking the people who want to go. We at the Davis Plantation, we've already told a month ago, we told them we was going to come through. Now we didn't tell them when, but we said be on the lookout. We at the Davis Plantation. You go in there, you get in slave quarters, and they said we got 15 people ready to go, and they got their clothes on, they got their whatever, the shoes, they got wraps on their feet, and then she comes in there, and they said, come on, they all leave. I can support that, but no, you go in there and take everybody with you, and then they all leave, and then halfway or a fourth of the way during the trip, someone says, where we going? And you say, we going to Philadelphia, we going to freedom. And the man says, well, I don't know what freedom is. I just want to go back to the plantation. And then you shoot him. Fuck, I can't approve that, man. I can't believe people, and that's what people have been saying. They're like, nah, man, I can't. I'm not with that, man, because you got to understand what you're dealing with. A lot of these dudes, men and women and slaves, they don't know. All they know is that plantation. To take them the freedom to do what? Start a law firm? What
Come
skills?
on, man, chill
No,
out, man.
what skills do they have? They don't have any skills. They're slaves.
Start a law firm.
Yeah,
Look, man,
they act like introducing freedom is all of a sudden they're gonna become functional citizens. Now, man, I'm against oppression, but you still gotta let them go back.
yeah. Look,
If
I
they want to go
don't
back,
know that
if they
to
want
be.
to go back, gotta let them go back.
I don't know that to be all the way true, but if that's a big if that occurred, like yeah, like that part of it, nah, man, that's not right, right? Yeah. So, but I don't know that to be true. So
That seems to be that's what the word is.
I can only go by the knowledge that I have acquired over time. But I'll definitely look into it. I'll read
She
up on it.
said,
Sure.
she probably took his life because he was going to tell the master, and they would have took her life. I got you on that, but what I'm saying is they probably should have said, "Is it good to clean everybody out because everybody out don't want to come?" That's what I'm saying. You got the Underground Railroad. You got to have people who want to be on it. You can't just go into a slave quarters and say, "Let's go." Everybody's not ready for freedom. And I don't think that's a good thing. I'm just saying, I think that it's a terrible thing if someone takes your life doing a situation like that. You don't even know what's going on. Somebody told you to follow them. You leave a plantation, you look at them, they telling you, come with us. And they like, come with you for what? I want to go back to my, that's what I'm saying. That's why I get into, I don't understand where you think it's okay to take that person's life. That person hasn't done anything to you. He said slaves don't get paid. College athletes do. Well, they don't have to play for these SEC colleges, though.
Yeah,
Look,
that they don't.
yeah,
I agree with
yeah,
you. They don't.
yeah, yeah, and
They don't.
nothing you can say can change that. These bigots and racists, they really think they can gas people's heads up. Black people are going to leave those schools, man. Now, is it going to happen today, overnight? No. But we're going to have a whole, 4 months of college football. You got game day. You got the playoffs. And then you got the championship game. You guys are playing with fire. You've made a bunch of rebels without a cause into rebels with a cause now. You're playing with this. A lot of black people are going to take liberty with what the states have done. They're going to be upfront about it. They're going to be upfront about why they're not coming back or why they don't want to play for a school. And how many fires can you put out? You can't keep putting them out before you have to deal with the reality that the racism, I mean, this assumption that a lot of whites do not support racism. We talk about the white supremacists. They support racism. You know, it's just like the Chad the builder. It's a bunch of white people glad he locked up.
Oh, you saw what happened with him? I read this morning.
Yeah, they lowered his bail.
They lowered his bail, but they said that the crowdfunding, he can't use that for his bail, for his bond.
Okay.
A judge put that rule in order. Said nope, he cannot use it for.
Well, also he put a gag on him saying that even in the jailhouse, so he can't get those phones. So he can't. No, he gagged him up. He said, even here, he was talking about the jail. He said, even though it's rules saying you cannot have a phone in jail, but you know they still they break the rules and they have them. He said, if he posts, if he comments on anything, he can be punished again. So now it becomes additional charges in addition to the one he's facing. And this whole thing about him being cleared, well, if he gets caught posting, that's a separate charge. So all of this, he'll beat this case, but guess what he won't beat? He won't beat the case where he posted. And on top of that, all the bigots and racists, see, he can't make money if he's not on the internet. So all like the Myrons, all these people trying to get him can't get him now because he can't make any money. You could give him $10,000 to come on your podcast, but he can't talk. So they just killed all of that. So Chud's going to be an old racist ass white man who slowly gets older. And God help him. I hope he makes it, but he's also in jail. And he's going to find himself having to deal with the black man. And I hope it, to me, he's got to sleep with one eye open. How long is he going to be able to do that? How long? I'm just saying, how long you think he sleep with one eye open? And he has a thing of preference.
That's hard to do.
Yes, somebody else has come forth, another lover, another gay man has come forth about Chud. So I want to see how much the white supremacists can hang on with this man. The way this man is getting pegged, and you guys support. That's what y'all want. That's the white. Yeah, we'll see though, man. And slavery is a choice. What's up with you, Master P? I mean, Mr. P.
Huh? What up, Platt?
What's up with
topic
you?
Today? I saw you had this topic a couple days similar. I didn't get on, but hey, you got a lot of big time universities out west, UCLA, USC.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, people sleep on UNLV, their football program. That's in Vegas.
Well,
Arizona.
I wouldn't go to UNLV, but I got you.
I mean, remember back in the day, in the early 90s or late 90s, late 80s, the basketball team was good. They had Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, all them guys. Went to the national championship a couple times, won it one year, beat the hell out of Duke. So that's a good sporting town, and they want to bring an NBA team there eventually. So they got the Raiders there, so it wouldn't be bad.
Hold on. You said UNLV, what they call themselves?
The Running Rep. Oh, Lord, you got me, you motherfucker. Platt, come on now. Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Platt slick. He got me. I had to think about you right then. But at least they're running. That means something. They're running, But
they running away from something.
Yeah, exactly. The bros ain't doing it. They ain't having it. But like in SEC, Platt, when you think about it, bro, it's like 7 programs really that you got to worry about the Jaheems and the Tyreeks go to. And I'm talking about the athletic ones. Georgia, Alabama, Texas, LSU, Florida, and maybe Auburn still. Well, yeah, they got a history, and Tennessee. All the other schools, they're not going to get the top tier talent. They're going to go to the Michigans, the Ohio States, the USCs, the Oklahomas. Even though Oklahoma's in the SEC, the Midwest folks really don't consider themselves South. That's the funny about Kansas, Oklahoma folks. They don't look at themselves in the same realm, even though they might vote for Trump. They don't see themselves as the same type as, Billy Bob in Alabama or Mississippi for some reason. They think they're a higher echelon type of white person. I've seen them when I used to work in Texas. But those mainly 7 schools in SEC, Platt, that somebody would say, I'm not going to your school because your state has issues with the voting for blacks. And these schools, the football program makes a lot of money for you already know, but they're saying they make a lot of money for the football program. If you want a softball team, lacrosse team, where you barely see anybody in your fans unless it's your uncle and your mama, not real fans, who you think's paying for that stadium that you're playing in, the football program or the basketball program?
Just like the NBA pays for the WNBA.
Yeah, welfare.
They pay for all of that. They couldn't make WNBA if it was a separate league, it would go bankrupt because they don't make a profit. They do not make a profit. So the market would decide it would go bankrupt. SEC, all that money, and and I agree that people are saying this should have been done. Yeah, they've been exploited. The black male has been exploited all the time. So these universities, right, they don't hire black coaches. They don't hire black ADs. They don't hire black people, yet they recruit black kids when they're young. They introduce those kids to racism of the white supremacists, and they teach those kids to shut up and accept it. Well, it's a different day now. People are saying you don't have to live like that.
And And to add on, my cousin, he lives in Charlotte, and he's a little well-to-do. He went to college and everything, Wake Forest. So he went to the Masters. I think it was like 7, 8 years ago, and he's in his like late 40s. So he said when he went to the Masters, you can sense the feel. This is before Trump. This is why Biden was, I think, was in the White House. It probably been like 6 years ago. He said you can sense that feeling of why are you here. And these are not like Billy Bob. There's Masters white folks, and then there's NASCAR white folks. And when Drewski did that skit, that's about the redneck type below, did barely got out of elementary school white folks. Those at the Masters that my cousin went to, he said those are the ones who are in the Fortune 500 companies, got their own business, are multimillionaires, either professionals with their doctors. And I'm gonna finish my point right here. Their alumni are schools: Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee. And they put a lot of money. We're gonna get us some bucks because we're gonna win this year. They talk like that amongst themselves. We're gonna get us some bucks this year. He heard the guys literally at a bar talk like that. He said, "Hey, we're gonna get some bucks this year, boy. Don't worry. We're gonna get you a national championship this year." That's how they look at them. That's how they look at them.
I remember I was watching a SEC school. They had a black quarterback, and the fans didn't like him. They were booing him. He wasn't that good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he got hurt. So they put the backup in. The backup was a white. He was just a guy on the team. You can tell he wasn't recruited. He was probably a walk-on. Anyhow, he got on there, and they didn't do any better. I think he threw 2 picks, and they got blown out. The next year he started. Yep. I mean, the next game he started, and the fans were all talking about his potential. And I saw the dude, right? So I put money against him. I wagered against him. And sure enough, he came out with a horrible showing. But one thing I picked up about the team was, I said when it was the black guy, they knew they were going to be bad. That's what the fans were saying. I'm not a fan. I just saw opportunity to make money. But when the white guy got out there, they all of a sudden he was worse prospect than the black guy, but all of a sudden they got positive. And I said, look at how they talking about, well, he didn't do this, or his reads were quicker, or he got the ball out to the running back in the screen and all of that. And then eventually the black dude healed. He got back over, and they bashed him. And he wasn't gonna go to the pro. He just happened to be a quarterback, and then see a black quarterback. He wasn't that good. Yeah. And then he washed out. But the thing that's crazy, oh yeah, that's my point. The white guy who was his backup, who got in a handful of games, who went on to graduate, that white guy got primo jobs.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying they came out their way to recruit him or try to get him to go to these good jobs. And I said, the black dude who was the starter, nobody came calling for him. He didn't make it to the pros. But when nobody trying to beat his door down, we need you to come to State Farm. We need you to go to Google. We need you to do this. No. But that backup did. And I said, man, that dude barely played. And what's this demand for him? But it's a white man. And see, the white supremacists don't want you to deal with racism. And that is racism, brother. So this stuff needed to come out.
I say like this, though. The athletes, like take Vince Young, for example. He went to Texas, and by the end of his career, because he had that little lull in it, and then by the time he was junior, senior, he got him to the national championship and they won. Then he went to Tennessee to play football, NFL in general, and he fell off, and then all the stuff. He comes back to Texas. They look out for him, the alumni, because they remember what he did when winning the national championship. He stayed on good terms with the university. He didn't bring no negativity to it. Chris Webber, opposite, and this is in Michigan. He brings them to national championship. All the issues happen. They find out he was getting paid possibly, The university ostracizes him. They don't want to deal with him. He wasn't even in the Fab Five documentary a couple years ago. The thing is, if you're good with the alumni, they look out for you. Even if it's a bigoted Peckerwood, I don't give a shit. If you look out for you, look out. Because, look at Clarence Thomas. I say it's two types of blacks. Either you're mentality black or your identity black. Clarence Thomas at best is identity black. He's not mentality black. So people say, oh, you can look out for the black, but if you're not mentality black, get away from me. You don't understand the history and stuff. You just got on the coat. Don't mean you don't got to understand it. So some of these schools will look out for you if you're on good terms with them. A lot of guys that come out of Alabama who are a great quarterback or Georgia, they get insurance jobs. That's a connection, networking. College is more about networking than education. It's who you meet, who you know, and who you got good relationships with. If you're black, that's just as important. But like I said, that's just what it is,
You're
but
right.
if they want to go to other schools out in the West Coast, USC wants them because they need them.
Mm-hmm.
You remember in the 70s, right?
USC's got to be a lot more vocal. UCLA,
Yep.
all of these universities, Indiana,
California.
Yep, Cal. There you go, Cal. You got
Jalen Brown. He might be a little bougie, sedity in the head, but he went to Cal. Remember in the 70s, a lot of my folks up here, do history check. Alabama at one time, a lot of the Southern schools in the 70s couldn't get black players. And Bear Bryant, the great Bear Bryant, before Saban, with the hat, said he had to break that line of getting the black players to come to his school because he saw the writing on the wall. He saw the USCs, he saw the other schools, the Nebraskas building up because Alabama's like, we don't take black players. And then they start taking them on in the 70s. So it might revert back to that on our own. A lot of black players saying, I'm not going to your school because your state is regressive.
That's all you need. That's all they need. All you need is a handful of top recruits, and you'll see changes being made.
Yep.
But they need they need blacks to speak out. And that's the problem. The dumb Negro don't want blacks to speak out. All you need is one top recruit.
Exactly.
All you need is one. They're all over the place. Go and get them to decommit, get them to transfer, and your message is received. Because the white supremacist all of a sudden has to deal with the fact he's losing money. He's losing money now, and blacks are not accepting his racism. So slavery is a choice. That's what I'm saying. Slavery is a choice. If you play for the SEC, you're playing for a slave school. Slavery is a choice. Any SEC school, I don't give a damn where it is, what they call it, you're playing for a slave school. Black people, we need to embrace that. We need to put that out. Slavery is a choice. SEC football is slavery, period.
In prime time, I'd love to get them boys to Colorado, I bet you.
Well, I wouldn't go play for him. I would go to a HBCU. I wouldn't play for Deion.
But most of the HBCUs flattered in the South, though.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I know that sort of hurts me to go play for Grambling or something like that because of you don't get no real buzz. Yeah. But you said play for Deion. I wouldn't play for him. Deion just not a good coach.
Come on over here to Colorado, up here in the mountains where you barely can breathe. That's why I got all these issues.
And this is the sad thing with Deion. Deion, this is an opportunity for you to put a winning season together. You better hop on this.
Yeah.
You better hop on this. Yeah, because you'll get a lot of the top-notch recruits. If you get you a top 10 team in there, you're going to win a lot of games.
What gets them recruits plat, though, is when they do the college visits and they go to the Georgia facilities and they say, oh, my Lord. Or they go to the Alabama facilities or Florida facilities. It's NFL grade facilities. You're like, wow.
Better than NFL.
Yes. Better. I remember the guy said he went to Texas for college, and then when he got drafted by whoever he did in NFL, he said Texas had way better facilities. He was like, man. So that's how much money they're making for them schools. They're able to build facilities.
Look, man, we got to make a decision. I don't know who's going to do it for us. We got to make a decision. Do we want racism or not? Yes or no? If you go play for the SEC school, you're co-signing racism. Simple as that.
Is it just a football player or basketball as well?
That with all of them.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it should be all. To me, I think it should be all sports. But you got
now. Hold on. Let me say this to the black person who's first time going to college. Black person who say, "Hey, ain't no racism here." Who said you couldn't, you got to leave? I didn't say that. I said the top recruits. I'm saying the people who matter, the important people. I'm not talking about the Rhodes Scholars. I don't. If you are a egghead and you 13 and you testing on college level and you go to the University of Alabama, I didn't say you need to leave. I'm talking about the people who matter, the football players, the basketball players. They matter. We got to get them out of there.
Yeah, but it's basically 7 schools SEC wise. A lot of the top, the ones you're talking about, the top notch players go to. Then the Georgias and Alabamas and the Floridas, they got them restrictive laws, Texas included probably, that they just they just want to mess with the Voting Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not good enough to vote, if you want to diminish my value to vote, why am I going to go out here and play for 4 hours, and on top of that, risk my life, my health, and make your school money, and then you just look at me as a buck?
Mm-hmm.
No, an alumni up there in the press boxes,
and you're not a
doctors,
man.
lawyers.
KP, you're not a man.
Exactly, you're a boy.
No, and that's the thing about it. That's what I'm saying. We're men. I'm a black man. KP, all of us, we're men. We know that a man who serves no purpose is useless in this society. So you can't even have, you can't even have the normal participation as a man. You still a man. Okay, you broke. You still a man. Okay, you in jail. You still a man. Okay, you rich, you poor, whatever. You still a man. The white supremacists don't even want Negroes to be men. So it's a de facto eunuchs. They de facto castrate you and say you're no longer useful to the society and you can't exercise your life. You're a man. You don't need to be out here smashing these women. You're a man. Your knee went bad. We don't care. You see what I'm saying? The Negroes have to make up their mind what they want to do.
When you tell them what you want to major in and it's something out of their expectation level, they say, no, you're going to take general studies. You're not here for school. You're here for football, son. Right there, you a buck.
And these Negroes think these white women, let me tell you something, they're going to tease the shit out you niggas with these white women. You're going to have to make up your mind what you want to do. What you want to do. You're going to have to make up your mind. That white supremacist going to tease you with drugs, a bag of drugs, and a white one, and a Brotherhood Snow. Yeah, what you going to do, man?
Get Out wasn't just a movie. They should have done a football version of that, but it wasn't just a movie. That was about juicing your talents, and which his talent was being a great artist, whatever, drawer. It's juicing your talents, and then was no more throw it to the side, bop you in the head, throw you down the nigga hole.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. How much juice can we get out of this boy? Oh, he got a whole lot of it. Whole lot of talent, son. Coach, we might win 2 or 3 national. When Cam Newton went to Florida, folks forget he went to Florida. He had a little issue, got in trouble for some supposed theft of a laptop. He left. Urban Meyer had told him the schools he couldn't go to unless he went to a JUCO school for 1 year, and then he can go any school he wanted to. He said, all right, bump you, I'm going to JUCO. He did JUCO for 1 year, and then Auburn, I guess, was the highest bidder, and he went to Auburn, and then we know what happened after that. So if you want to play the game, don't get played. Play it for your benefit. Don't just be the tool out there, and then once you, like you say, get a bad knee, a torn ACL, Achilles injury, throw you to the side, and then there's gonna be another 17, 18-year-old they get it from another school, high school. That's how they look at you. You're just, that's what it is. And you go to, like you said, slave schools. Yeah, them folks up there with the cut hair. You ever see the white boys like at Auburn or Ole Miss on the football games? They got that coiffed hair, sunshine kind of haircut, maybe. It's like how they looked probably about 30 years ago when they didn't want blacks going to college with them at all. Those are the ones that come from families the blind side type folks. You know?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we love Big Mike. Yeah, you want him to go to your school. That's why you love Big Mike. If Big Mike was not 6'6", 350 pounds, you wouldn't give two shit about him with limber feet.
There
You
you
wouldn't
go.
care. Exactly. That's when I watched The Blind Side. When I first saw it, or the second time I saw it, that's what I took from it. Big Buck had some talent, had some skills, and then white folks said, "Oh, we can use him at our school."
You know what bothered me about The Blind Side? The mother. Do you remember that? I ain't seen that movie in forever. I saw it one time. I haven't seen it, but there was a scene in there where, what's that white woman's name? You know what I'm talking about. What's that white woman's name in that movie?
Oh, the one that played the mom,
Sandra.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. Yeah, she goes to the boy's mother, knocks on the door in the projects.
Yep.
And the mother says this and that. And then she acts like the mother just gave her kid over to her, like there's no concern.
Yep.
I'm still haunted by that scene. Sandra Bullock, whoever wrote that, they wrote like the mother didn't care about her kid. And you know that's not true, man.
You want to know inside scoop about
hold up. Even in the ghetto, man. And you know, I mean, even in the projects, man, they care about things. We can't go this far with this racism. Man, they care about their kid, man. Why would you say some shit like that? How you going to have a 14, 15-year-old kid running around? You don't know where he is. You ain't seen him in a couple of days. A white woman show up at the project door and you don't want to know where your kid is, or you leave them there. What kind of shit is that?
Well, you want to know the inside scoop on that movie, though, Platt? The role that Sandra Bullock played as a mother, actually, their first choice, and they offered it, was Julia Roberts. She declined it because she didn't like that narrative. They offered it her because you remember she was in Steel Magnolias. She's a Southern Belle, the Southern Belle. If anyone seen Steel Magnolias, not the black version, the one that came out back in '89.
That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work with.
No, it would have worked. Julia Roberts, she's a Southern Belle. I remember her how she was.
She wouldn't be able to sell it. I got what you're saying.
She had the same eyes. Because remember, she could be fiery just like Sandra Bullock was in that movie. I know she would have worked. But anyway, they offered to her, whoever they saw it, thinking she might have worked. That's why they offered it to her first. And she declined it, saying she did not like that narrative. So then I think Sandra Bullock was either the second or third, because who was the other girl? Her mama was a country singer way back. She played in the movie with the black guy, Morgan Freeman. She was also offered the role because they wanted a Southern Belle type. Yeah.
How would I know that? Morgan Freeman made like over 100 movies. He said she played
the black
in the movie.
Girl. He saved. They shot the guy with the guy shot with the water.
She was a white girl. She was a white girl who played.
Her mom's a country singer.
Hold up, she was a white girl who played in a movie with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
how would I know? Who would know that? The man's made over 100 movies.
Somebody on chat type that in.
Ain't nobody gonna know that.
Yeah. You got smart people up here. But anyway, point being was, I think Bullock was like the third option because no one really considered her Southern, like the other two were, because that movie was based in the South. But anyway, Julia Roberts was given the role or offered the role. She declined it because she didn't like the narrative. So you were the only one that said, this sounds like white savior, wherever it's white saviorism, I don't want to be part of that narrative. So she declined it. But like I said, The Blind Side, that movie just told you about, they saw him as a big buck and they wanted him to come to their college to make their school better at football. They didn't really give two shits about his life. I think in real life, they're on bad terms, the family and Michael Orr. They're on bad terms in real life.
I think that's a terrible, very terrible view of black women and their children. I think that movie did a disservice. They weren't sued for it. They were never criticized heavily for it. But within the movie, Michael Orr, The Blind Side, they go to visit his mother, and she's disrespectful. She's condescending.
Yep.
And the black mom takes it. And I just don't understand who put that together. I thought that was ridiculous. I'm saying you knocking on someone's door. They haven't seen their kid in a week. 2 weeks, and they're supposed to just let you lecture them about where their kid is at. It don't work that way.
You feed our kids Taco Bell.
That's their kid.
Yep.
And if you say, hey, he's staying with me, well, do you have paperwork on that?
Yep.
What paperwork, what court order do you have that my child now lives with you? And I didn't like the way they glazed over. There was a lot about the blind side I didn't like. But that was one of the major points, because I was like, damn, they took that woman's kid and they didn't even give that woman a neck bone. Because when you think about it, you say your kid finna go to the pro, and she the mom. It's like, damn, get that woman a hot pan of neck bones and a slice of hot cornbread. She got nothing.
Who was the mother that played her, the black woman? I forgot.
I don't know, man. That was years ago. See, AP, I'll watch him one time. I don't watch him more than one time.
Okay. I'm trying to figure that out.
KP, you be watching these movies a couple of times.
Because it's called having intelligence and being in depth. You don't just look at it from one scale.
That's hold on. So hold on. Okay, help me out. So KP, so watching the same movie multiple times is indication of intelligence?
Yeah, because you watch one time, and I can have a conversation with you, and you're like, no, you don't have an in-depth mind to see it. Like you saw behind the blind side, so you intelligent, Platt. A lot of other folks just say, oh, it was a nice movie about a white lady helping a black kid. Okay, you got a 10-year-old mindset. Thank you. No more conversation. Because they don't see the deep. You know what I'm saying? Movies are that. It's a symbolism. If you can't see the symbolism in some, you're limited. Some people don't like to think about it that way, but that's truth.
Mm-hmm.
If I can interpret stuff and see the symbolism in something, from Ray and him not wanting to date so-and-so because she was a drunk and he wanted to be with B because she was a good girl, I can see that. And somebody says, oh, he just wanted to be with Kerry Washington. That means you're not in depth. You can't see it. You don't understand it because your mind's simple. And some people get offended by that, but it is what it is. That's why we got the word intellect. Some folks are higher, others was here. If you can't see something, I can see it, or I can't see it, and you can see it. That means obviously we got different ways of thinking. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Platt, I appreciate it. I love the topic today. It was great. If you go to a slave school, you're just perpetuating the issue. And behind the scenes up in the press conference, when they're drinking their beers or their cocktails, they're saying on the field, when you're running for that 100-yard run, look at that buck out there. Yeah, we got a good buck for the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. Holla, Platt.
Got you. Like the stream, brother. Support the platform, man. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. What are we gonna do, man? We're gonna keep getting mistreated, or are we gonna stand up and say we're not gonna accept this stuff? When are we gonna say that we're not going to accept this racism, this mistreatment? All you need is one couple of top recruits. That's all you need. Let the Negro, if the Negro wants to attend those colleges, let him play Russian roulette. Let him take a chance. Racism is unleashed now. And I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time before we see Negroes being hung on those universities. You're going to see students being hung. White supremacist back, man, he's going to let you know where you stand. And I want Negroes to go out there. You out there playing a football game, and you had 5 of your fellow students. They were hung by a tree by the white supremacists, and you're down there empowering them. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen several times. It's not going to happen at one campus. You're going to see a bunch of people doing it. This is white supremacy unchecked. This is what you get. It was in a cage. They did cage it up. It complained, but it was in a cage. Now it's out of its cage. White supremacy, racism is going to be out of control. Out of control. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. Slavery is a choice. If you play for SEC school, slavery is a choice. The white supremacist, you're going to see it. Like the stream, man. We got a racist in the chat box. He said you voted for the Indian. No, I didn't even participate. But you know what? Since you look at it like that, no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give you a chance. We got the join link posted, bro. We'll take your thoughts. Lindsay, we'll take your thoughts. You got something to say, hit the link. He's over there trying to justify his racism now. You see that? Now all of a sudden he's trying to justify. Where's India? See, I'm behind on a lot of stuff. Indians, now they might think they're white, but I've never seen a white Indian. But I agree with you. They may think they're white. They are racist. If that was the point, a lot of Indians are racist and they don't consider themselves black people. But you said white. I didn't know they consider themselves white people. That's a reach there, brother. Bro, that's some weird shit too. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine you standing next to someone, the person is an Indian person from Pakistan, and they're telling you that they're white? And you saying, what? Like, man, I know you don't speak the language, but goddamn, you that stupid? You're not white. I mean, I get it. You got some mixed kids, you married to a white man. You got a couple of dollars in your pocket, but you still not a white person. I'm for real, man. Like, damn, you straight up tripping. And then you say to the Indian person, well, why is it so important to be white? Okay, you're an Indian. What's wrong with being an Indian? And the Indians I know are married to black men, so. And I know a few. It's some brothers. It's some Indian dudes. They got them some sisters, so. I don't even get that. I ain't none of them. Well, see, I'm just talking about that. You're right. That's a anecdotal. It's not a large group. But yeah, the ones I see, I see the Indian men married to black women. I see a few, not a lot, Indian women married to black men. I'm yet to run across one that's married to a white man. But then again, I can't go by that because, I'm in the streets. My community, ain't no white people in my community. No, you know who the only white people in my community? The police. I'm serious. Ain't no white people in my community, man. The only white people in my community are police officers. Maybe I need to move. I don't know. Maybe I should. But yeah, I'm just like, they ain't really here. When I go to get something to drink, Indians. When I go get gas, Arabs. When I want go get something to eat, Chinese. Black people don't run nothing in this community, nothing. And they wouldn't be here if the white man wouldn't. The white man ain't gonna let them come in. It's finna get worse too. White man don't want these Indians and all these people in his community. See, he won't let them sell chicken wings to his kids. He said, hell no, you ain't selling nothing to my kids. You ain't doing nothing to my kids. You ain't going to the school with my kids. You ain't bringing no taco truck to my neighborhood. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why black people be trying to move out there, because it's not so much they want to be next to white people, but they understand the rules apply out there. So they be trying. I know they have to catch hell for doing it, but that's what I'm saying. But see, in the black community, you can get you a taco truck. You can pop a taco truck. Next thing you know, and your kids on the way from school, they done chomp down 2 burritos. There ain't no telling what's in it. Cat food and pork and beans wrapped up in a tortilla. You know what I'm saying? Your kid got a belly full of cat food and pinto beans with a little cheese on it. That's what I'm saying. See, I don't blame them, but white man, you right about that. White man, you right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to block you, brother. I put the link in here. And that's what I'm saying. We get these old people in here who don't understand StreamYards. These are the type of old people that they can't tie their shoes. And no, and I'm sympathetic to that, man. I hate to see that, man. I see an old somebody 81 and they shoes be on the wrong feet. That shit tears at my soul, man. I hate to see that. He says, Cam, look like she gonna run again. She's the leader. She's at the top of the Democratic class. Look like she'll be running again. And she's an ultra liberal. Kamala is pronouns, gay this, gay that. She's an ultra liberal and she's winning, man. She'll beat the primary. She'll be the next nominee to run for president. I put the link in there, brother. You don't. The only thing that glows is the link. It says join the stream. You click on the link. You know what a link is? Put the link in your Put the link up there with your URL, man. You got me on that one. I be blanking out on this thing. What you call that? The URL box. What do you call that? The browser? Is that the browser? What is that? All you need is everything behind the HTTP. That's all you need. And you would try to take the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? He would. That's what I mean. How you gonna take a link? How you gonna take a link and you put the whole thing? How you gonna put the whole thing in the box? I don't know what to tell you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with the link, though. I don't know what to tell you, brother. Brother, this is the world we live in, brother. We are so behind, man, as a people. We so far behind. It ain't even funny, man. We are so far behind. You got people who can't even do a StreamYards link. They don't know what a hyperlink is. They don't know HTTP. You don't even need that. They don't even know that. You don't need that. All you got to do is put the, and I don't know that, what is that URL called? The URL box. What's they call that? What do they call that? The URL box. I don't know. It's a name for it. I wish somebody would come up here and tell me why blacks shouldn't leave the SEC. I wish they would. We know they're not going to do it because they can't. Black or white. I wish somebody would come up to me and tell me why should not black people leave the SEC? And is it not slavery? Is it not slavery to put these black people in these colleges and ignore them? Is that not slavery? It's slavery, brother. You're gonna have to hit the link, Joe Friday. Whoever you are. Look, all of these trolls. Okay. All right, troll. What we're gonna do is there you go. Boom. We'll time you out. Listen, you can have your point of view, but you gotta hit the link. If you don't hit the link, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. No, you're not gonna sit here and spew your racism. And I gotta listen to that shit. I don't want to listen to that. There we go. There's the StreamYard link right there. If it's not lighting up, I don't know. It is a hyperlink, though. All you got to do is hit it. Like, share, support. We've been going for a while, man. We got Slavery is a Choice. You got Notre Dame out here. You got University of Washington out. Address bar, thank you. The address bar, thank you, sir. You put the URL in the address bar. You don't even need the HTTP. You don't even need that. All you need, that's to make it light up. You don't even need that. All you got to do, right here. That's all you got to do. Right there. Put that in the address bar. Put that in the address bar. It takes care of itself. Joe, you're going to have to hit the link, Joe. Joe, you got 2 minutes, Joe. Joe, you gonna get all right, Joe. I feel you, Joe. Time is running out, Joe. Joe, you got 1 minute. You got 1 minute, Joe. Uh-oh. Time's run out for you, Joe. Get your ass out of here. You and your racism. We just banned you and your racism. These guys come over here saying dumb shit, and they can't support any of the things they say. And then they get mad because they want the black man to be the good Negro. They want the black man to bounce around. They want him to tap dance. They want him to, to be the good Negro. Black people don't have to be used and taken advantage of. You don't have to let that happen, man. Now, I see Fox News has already went out and they put a hit piece. They put a hit piece on this NAACP. They're already attacking NAACP. Fox News, bro. Fox News drug some clown Negro up there who didn't know what he was talking about. He was upset that blacks are boycotting the racist programs. He started to make it about other blacks. We talking about racism, brother. Whether you like it or not, the NAACP calls for a boycott of the bigoted, racist SEC schools, and it's long overdue. Slavery is a choice. And the Negro's going to have to make up his mind, do he want slavery or not? The Negro's going to have to make up his mind, is he pro-slavery or not? The Negro wants the white man to take care of him. And that's why he's upset with any type of resistance. When you say, don't go to the SEC schools, the Negro gets mad. And I want that part where they want the white man to take care. When does the white man ever take care of you, nigga? When has he ever took care of you? He fed you cornmeal and pig fat. That was your dinner. He fed you cornmeal and fat back. And then he took a whip and he beat you like you was an animal until your backbone was exposed. And you up here talking about the white man and how you don't want to leave, and the white man, you owe him this, you owe him that. You owe the white man your support, the white man. And that's why we're going to be reintroduced to slavery. Welcome to the slavery now. Welcome to the racism. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. All we doing is telling the truth, man. We ain't trying to get you in your feelings. We ain't trying, and Harriet Tubman, man, I'm not going to do a podcast. But if it's true, man, if she was shooting these people because they wouldn't join her freedom marches, she needs to be tried, bro, as a serial killer. No, you can't be out here doing that. No, I was listening to it and I thought about it and I said, man, you can't just walk up in no plantation and tell everybody to follow you. And then they follow you. And then the one or two that don't agree that, it's better in the North, we're going to take their lives. No, we can't do that one. Yeah, I can't co-sign. Wrong is wrong. If they want to be coons, if they want to be Sambos, let them. But I don't think they deserve a death sentence for that. I don't. I don't think that's the right way to handle that. I think it was improperly handled. Like the stream, man. Slavery is a choice. If you play for SEC football, you are co-signing slavery. He said, what should Dennis Gates do? He's the coach for Missouri. Williams, he needs to think about what's going on. I don't know who Dennis Gates is. I never heard of the guy. He needs to think about what's going on. He needs to consider, if he's a black guy, he needs to say, hey, I need to get out of Missouri. Well, he should have said that before this. Missouri, as violent as Missouri is, Missouri is some good, but Missouri got some good, the sisterhood is holding in Missouri. I ain't had no whole lot. I've been to Missouri like 3 times. I've been to St. Louis 3 times. All times I struck gold every time. Sisterhood, they took care of a nigga out there, bro. It's some good box in St. Louis. It is. It is, bro. And I like the airport. I like it, man. It's real nice, man. High ceilings. Beautiful, beautiful fucking place. Oh, he says the basketball coach. I don't know, man. That's up to him. That's totally up to him. Like, share, support, man. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. We've been going for a while. It's Friday, man. You gonna get out there or what, man? You gonna get out there? You gonna get involved? What you gonna do, man? What you trying to do, man? What you trying to do, man? You trying to do a little something? Get involved. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. Where my cash app's at. I got J-Rock for the $30 holler. 30 J-Rock, whoever you are. You've been so consistent, brother. Whoever you are. Like, share, support, man. Hit the cash app. Hit the super chat. We trying to figure this thing out. Slavery is a choice. If you play for the SEC, you playing for slavery. Come on, Ryan. Ryan, tell these niggas slavery is a choice. Come on, Ryan. Ryan Clark. Shannon, where you at? Tell them slavery is a choice. Tell them, Shannon. Come on. Come on. Come on. Where you at, Ocho? I've been listening. Ocho, it's been the last year. You ain't said nothing. We get it. You up under Shannon. We get it. You trying to pay your bills. We get that, brother. But, brother, it's time for you to say something. You ain't said nothing in a year. Say something about this racist asking black people to come out there and play football. Come on, Shannon. Come on, Ocho. I know you got it in you. I know you fighting it. I know you fighting it, but it ain't over. Like the stream, man. We try, bro. We doing everything we can to try to help. That man said the black basketball coach at Missouri. Brother, I thought you was talking about football. Man, get it. Bro, we don't care about no damn Missouri basketball. Missouri stinks. They're Missouri. They need whoever they can to coach him, bro. Whoever, he should be fired anyhow. Slavery is a choice. We got the SEC football. We're going to see a lot of these Negroes co-sign slavery. They're going to go out there and play regardless of what the NAACP has said. They're going to still show up, and they're going to be labeled slaves. And they're going to be labeled, going to be labeled slaves. You're a slave. You're out there picking cotton for Georgia. You're out there picking cotton for Tennessee. You're out here being a slave. You're being a slave for the white man. And you have a right to say that. You have a right to say that. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop you from being able to have your opinion. You said, who cares about the NAACP? Well, I can agree with you on that, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. I mean, a stop clock is right twice a day. But I know, I got you, man. I got you. Stop the messenger. I got you. Go after the NAACP. They're just a messenger. There you go. And that's just racism. And this is their racism. They're going to go after the NAACP, and they're going to ignore what they're complaining about and make it about the NAACP. Ain't that something? Old-fashioned racism and hate. Like, share, support, man. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. If not, we got to move on. We're making our point, brother. And if you've been keeping up with what we've been doing, we were the one who introduced this plan. We did it over here first. We did it first. Platinum Elite. It stopped. It was born here. So all this yap, all these dumb niggas on here trying to yap and yap, they can't fuck with me, man. It was impossible to begin with. That was a stupid belief that they can fuck with. They're not even on my level, man. And they never will be. Look, we're trying to tell the truth over here, man. Slavery is a choice. What you going to do, man? You going to go out there and be the white man's slave, or you going to stand up? We need you to stand up. We need you to stand up. You don't have to let that white man control you. And see, they don't like that. See, when anybody talks against discrimination and racism, they get mad because they know they have to manipulate the Negro. They got to bleed the Negro for his resources, take his money, make a fool out of him, let him make you rich, and you go on the pros. But look, he made you over 100 million. Get rid of that. Leave, go to another school, bankrupt these racist ass college universities, bankrupt them. Bankrupt. University of Alabama, 3 years from now, bankrupt. Bankrupt. That's all you got to do. You got a little more power than they trying to get you to think you don't have power. You got a lot of power. You got a lot of power. Use your power. Walk away from these racist SEC schools. And this is the beginning. Yeah, will it go to the NFL, NBA? Yes. Yes, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Like the stream, man. Reach up here, hit the like. Support the platform.